Good evening, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Woody Show. I'm having a few technical problems tonight. For some reason, I can't seem to start Reddit, and I don't think it's my end. I know I had technical problems on Friday, but that turned out that was me trying to broadcast at 60 frames per second, and it wouldn't accept it. So I'm having a few problems with Reddit, and I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm going to keep trying as the evening progresses. It says that I'm on. I got the email to say that I'm on, but it is not starting the broadcast. It might be down to my title, so I'm gonna change that as we go along. Meanwhile, I've got a guest tonight. Um, I've got a guest tonight, my friend Boaty, who I'm gonna bring on right now. Let's just turn him on. That sounds disgusting, I know, but it actually means that I'm turning his his audio on so you can hear him. Anyway, say hello to my friend Boaty when I've just made his screen the right size. There we go. Right, there we go. My friend Boaty up there. Jason Harry Hughes. There you are. Yep. I'm fine, Jason. How are you? No, not a problem. Not a problem. I'm going to ask you the obvious question, right? Here's the obvious question: is why are you called Boaty? We've got 3 hours. Jason, you've moved. You're off camera. You need to move back to centre. You've moved. All they can see is the side of your head. That's it. Carry on. Carry on. Now you've moved again. Look at the monitor on Skype. You look at Reddit. Hang on. Carry on talking. Carry on talking. But you keep moving. You're going off screen. I know you can't hear my friend. I'm just sorting that out now. Right, Samsley. Good evening, Samsley. I can see you there on Twitch. I'm just having a few technical problems. Right, Jason, just bear with me while I send you the Reddit link, which I'm just coming up because I've just got onto Reddit. Okay, so that all should be working. It is jolly exciting. It is jolly exciting. Right. Okay. I actually had your audio dead, so you'll have to forgive me. Right. When I send you the Reddit link, which is coming. Let me turn this off. When I send you the Reddit link, which is coming right now on Messenger for you, which is you'll understand what I say when you're off camera. So you'll have to move to get yourself in the camera. There you go. There's a Reddit link coming through. Um, Samsley, can you hear my friend now? Just out of curiosity, over there on Twitch. Good evening, Reddit. Sorry, I've had a little bit of a problem tonight getting online Reddit, but I know that we're there now. No, that's because he's not talking. I mean, now I'll get him to talk in a second. I'll get him to talk in a second. Jason, can you?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
That's it, right?
Under 12.
He should be able to hear you. Can you hear him now?
1, 2, 3.
Can you hear him now, Samsley?
Asa.
Okay, you can hear him, right? Okay. Where's Samsley? Quickly, there's my glasses just there. Tonight I am wearing contact lenses. That's why I'm not wearing glasses. I've actually got contact lenses on. I only wear glasses at the end of the day when when my eyes get tired from contact lenses. But I'm using contact lenses. I don't like contact lenses. I don't like wearing glasses when I'm streaming because I've got very powerful studio lights, And if I put my glasses on, you'll see they reflect. They reflect the studio lights when I hold my head at certain angles. So I've got to stop holding my head at certain angles. Right, because
Studio lights.
because
You record this in your bathroom.
sorry, Jason.
What are you talking about? Studio lights. You record this in your bathroom, you told me.
I record. No, I don't have a bathroom. I have a shower, and they all know that.
Oh, okay.
Right.
As you were.
Good try.
Carry on.
Good try. Good try.
Very interesting.
Good try. Right. if you on Reddit, some Layla3 on Reddit has said I'm addicted to soap. You do well in prison, Layla. You do well in prison, especially in the showers. They like soap in the showers. I know this because they're always throwing it on the floor for each other.
Are we speaking from personal experience then?
Well, absolutely, yeah. Of course, I've been in prison for years. I've spent a lot of time in prison. Me.
Best place for you. Now, I'm fascinated by the idea of being addicted to soap. Now, what aspect of soap is this lovely person actually addicted to? Is it washing themselves? Is it the smell of soap? Is it soaping other people? Soaping strangers in the street? Or I'd like to know. Do tell us. Oh, you're clean now. Ah, that may have possibly been a joke. Very good one. Very good one. You're a comedian, aren't you, Steve? It says so on Wikipedia.
Yeah. I'm a comedian, yeah, because it says it on Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia. If Wikipedia told me my cock was on fire, I wouldn't believe it unless I smelt burning testicles.
To be honest, I think that if your penis was on fire, then Wikipedia is not likely to be the originator of you learning that.
Did you just say penis?
Yes.
Oh my God! Now I understand. Now I understand why you don't get laid often.
Yes.
I actually understand why you don't get laid often.
Is that right?
I bet you say, darling, can we go upstairs and have intercourse because I'd like to put my penis in your vagina?
No, that's just what I say to you.
When I would just say, do you want to come upstairs and have a good fuck?
Well, this has gone downhill quickly, hasn't it, viewers? I mean, I was hoping for something of a more cultural experience, but
Well, yeah,
there we are.
if you wanna, there's a question on Reddit you can answer. If you want to be cultural, you answer the question on Reddit. You go for it.
Do you know what happens if you sit on a F5 button? Well, I'm just going to pick you up on one thing here. It should be an F5 button because F is actually EF, therefore it begins with a vowel, therefore it should be an rather than a. But quite aside from that, I have absolutely no idea because I don't do things on a computer keyboard anymore. I use iPads and I can't remember what the F5 does, let alone whether you sit on it or prod it with a digit or. So I'll pass on that one. Steve, do you know what happens if you sit on an F5 button?
I on an iPad, I haven't got a clue. As far as I'm concerned, if you click on an F5 button on iPad, it probably explodes. F4 on Windows shuts down all your browser windows, and F5 refreshes your browser. Oh, I see. There's a joke there. Look, you'll become refreshing. Oh, I understand. Yeah, I understand. It's a good way of cleaning your bum. Speaking of cleaning your bum. Speaking of cleaning your bum, right? Speaking of cleaning your bum, I was away last night, the night before. I was in a hotel.
Nobody likes a show.
Yeah, and I was meeting some friends, and I had to have a Tom.
Friends?
Yeah, friends. I've got friends. I had to have a Tom, and I realised that this is the first time.
Could I just butt in here? And for our overseas friends, Tom is Cockney rhyming slang. Tom tit, poo.
Right, and I had to have a Tom, and I really it's the first time I've been away from home for over a year, and I had to wipe my ass with toilet paper. Now that sounds really strange.
What do you wipe it with at home?
Water. I've got a Clozomat toilet. I've actually got a toilet right there. When you go to poo, you press a button and a little arm shoots out of the bottom of the toilet and squirts warm water up your arse. And then when it's done that, it blows hot air up your arse to dry it all off. So I've actually got a toilet that washes and dries my arse. And I sat down to have a tom, and I realised that I haven't got a toilet that washes and dries my arse. So I had to use toilet paper that had about the same consistency as sandpaper. And I'm not having wiped my arse for so long. It's a very interesting experience having to wipe it with toilet paper. I'm just going to run through some figures here. On Twitch, we've got 2 people watching us. On Facebook, we've got nobody watching us, and on YouTube, we've got 1 person watching us. And I suspect the 1 person watching this on YouTube is you, Jason. Hi, Sam. Yeah, Samsley is back on Twitch. Hi, Samsley. Hi, Samsley. I didn't realise you'd actually gone, but hi, Samsley. Twitch doesn't tell me when you've gone, but I did notice the viewer count go down, but I don't know who had gone. And on Reddit, we had 7 people watching us at the moment, so we're nearly famous. We're nearly famous. Leia 3 there wants a shout out to her fingers. So hello, Leia's fingers. I'd give a shout out to my fingers, but I think they still smell of poo from where I got breakthrough with the I didn't use enough strips of toilet paper. I got breakthrough, and I've scrubbed my fingers about a dozen times, and they still smell. But that's what you get for having a toilet that washes your bum, which I've got. Right, before we go any further, I'm just going to do my one of my regular features, which we shall run right now. Beer de jour. There we go. There we go. Right, beer de jour. My beer of the day. My beer of the day today is San Miguel. I didn't choose it. My other half, she went to the supermarket today, and I said, "Can you get me some beer?" And she come back with San Miguel. Now, as you probably know, I've got a real bug up my arse about beers that claim to be something that they're not. San Miguel Especial since 1890. Labor único o authentico desde since 1890. Brewed and authenticated since 1890. It looks Spanish. It looks like San Miguel. It's got all the Spanish font on it and everything else. And it's only when you take a look at the side of the beer, it actually says premium lager brewed and canned in the UK by Carlsberg UK Limited. So this isn't a Spanish beer. This is a British beer. It's made with British hops, British barley, British water, and it's brewed by a Dutch company. A Danish company, sorry, it's brewed by a Danish company in the UK. So there's actually nothing Spanish about this beer at all. If you've ever been to Spain, mainland Spain, you'll know that San Miguel is the big beer out there. And it's a lovely beer. Everybody in Spain loves San Miguel. I love San Miguel. But this isn't Spanish San Miguel. This tastes nothing like Spanish San Miguel. It's nice, but it's nothing like Spanish San Miguel. And I wish they wouldn't do this with beers. You'd be surprised at how many beers actually do this. They are not what they claim to be. And this isn't what it claims to be. It's still a refreshing drink. Now, Boaty here doesn't drink beer. Boaty drinks wine. So what's your vin de jour, Boaty? Yeah. Swiftly moving on.
Sorry, I missed that. Were you talking to me?
What's your vin de jour?
My vin de jour today is Italiano. Il sono italiano in spirito. Video mare, quanto bello, sperimento sentimentale, specie del mandorla tenata. And today I have gone for a cheeky little Pinot Grigio, which cheeky little number, quite indelicate on the nose, if I'm quite honest, with an interesting bouquet of shame and disappointment, and quite sharp on the palate.
So it's a nice wine, then, is what you're saying?
Sorry?
It's a nice wine.
It's, well, it would get you there after a couple of bottles.
All right. Good evening, Tyson. I up. Now, that's a typical Lincolnshire. Tyson up there on YouTube. Tyson's from Lincolnshire, so I up there, Tyson. Samsley on Twitch. I did answer your question about my glasses earlier, but you obviously had gone by that point, so I'll re-answer them. I'm wearing contact lenses. I only normally wear my glasses when my eyes get tired from contact lenses. But I didn't put my contact lenses in till later today. And I don't like wearing glasses when I'm broadcasting because of the reflection of the studio lights. However, you notice I call my friend Jason Boaty, and I know we've already done this once, but I forgot that the volume was off. Um, so let's just ask Jason to tell you why we call him Boaty. So Jason, would you would you uh, would you please tell us why you're called Boaty? But in a second. Good evening, Fort Walton Bleach over there on Reddit. How nice to see you. Fort Walton Bleach is another one of my regulars. How nice to see you. Which reminds me, Jason, you tell them what I call Boaty because I forgot to put this out on Reddit to let my friends know that I'm going out. So we'll do that now. So Jason, please tell us all why you're called Boaty.
Yeah, it relates back to the eBay days. And those of us, I first met Steve on the eBay Power Seller Forum, and we were all known by our eBay IDs, and mine was Boat Drinks, which is my favourite Jimmy Buffett song. And Boat Drinks became Boaty, and it's stuck ever since. And if you're interested, Steve was known to everybody as Astro. Well, some people called him other things, but
My wife
most
calls me
people called
Arse.
him Astro. Lord Darius called you a few things.
Yeah. So why boat drinks? Tell us the story about boat drinks.
Oh, hell. Okay, that was my 30th birthday. I went on a blind date for lunch in Chicago with a beautiful blonde. Ended up staying there. She was really into Jimmy Buffett. Her favourite song was Boat Drinks. It became my favourite song, and that was why I chose it as a eBay username.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, Klein643 has asked a very interesting question about something that I'm gonna touch on in during this broadcast. I'm going to say good evening to a few people. Good evening there, Tracy on YouTube. Right, Klein643. Yes, we actually, believe it or not, in Britain we do celebrate. July the 4th. But we celebrate it for a slightly different reason to you. We celebrate it in more I think, fuck, we got rid of them type way, rather than a celebration. I mean, but it's nice to know because we also see the Americans as 1776 as a crux, as a turning point, because we look at your country rather like a parent looks at a young child riding their first bicycle. That they're there to guide them when they've got the stabilizers on. And now, on 1776, we actually took the stabilizers off of your bike and we sent you on your own. And we're just watching you wobbling your way forward at the moment. That's how we see you. So hopefully that answers your question there. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But
Can I just interject with a technical question? Drink your beer, no rush.
go on.
Why can't I see what's happening on YouTube? I haven't got any comments or anything.
Let me go and have a quick look at YouTube. I can see it. I can see all the comments coming in.
Oh, well, that's nice. I was more thinking about me, to be
Hang on,
perfectly
hang
honest
on,
with
hang on.
you.
I'll give you a link to watch it directly on. So if you watch it on this link, you should be able to see it. Just bear with me for a second. You should be able to see it on this link. So there you go. Have a look at that. But that's the link I'm watching on, and I can see the chat. But again, I've got to say, people, Jason is using an iPhone and an iPad, and that's like last century's technology. So I can't really help him. But if any of you guys out there, have any of you guys out there got an iPhone? That's the important thing. Have you got an iPhone right now that you can help Jason with, because he has a terrible problem replacing the background on Skype. Um,
And I have a terrible problem because I can't see any of the comments on YouTube, and they might be really interesting, and I might be missing out.
well, it's just Tracy saying good evening, and it's Samsley saying sorry for being there. So on that link that I've just given you, have you got the YouTube comments coming up?
Oh, there are two people watching. That's exciting.
Have you got the comments?
Live chat. Yeah,
Oh, there you
got
go.
him now.
There you go then.
Got him now. Oh, well, this is excellent. Now we can really get cracking.
Now you can see
What's
what's going on. Right. Tracy, by the way, I don't know. Tracy, do you know Boaty? Have you come across Boaty, Jason Parry Hughes on eBay? Well, actually, I know you have because he had like about 1 million IDs. I mean, the man was
I did not.
constantly being banned. Right. I kid you not. I kid you not. He was constantly being banned. Meathead, thank you very much for the coffee. Thank you very much indeed. I do appreciate the coffee. I know you said you've done it, but I was very surprised when it arrived. I was because I've got those little small ones. I was very surprised with what arrived. Thank you very much. I deeply appreciate that. Um, Tyson, Jason can hear you. Both you can see your question. So Boaty, there's a question for you, Tyson. Both from Tyson.
Oh, right. Let's have a look. Would I rather have taste buds in my butt or poop through my mouth? Gosh, well, there's something that I've never really considered before. I think that I would rather, well, I'd rather have taste buds in my bum, I think, because that way, I'm a massive foodie. I'm an enthusiastic home cook. I work in the food industry. I work with amazing chefs, and I eat like a king. I eat the most amazing food. And if I had taste buds in my bum hole, then I can enjoy it going out as well as when it goes in. So double the pleasure. What's not to love? Next question, please.
Is your friend drinking vodka out of a wine glass? I actually think it's methylated spirits he's drinking. I think. GRLZ2 GRLZ. Two hablas español.
I can answer the vodka question. I had a lifelong love affair with vodka, and about 3 years ago, I decided that there was a possibility that it was getting a little bit out of hand, so I gave it up, and I gave up getting drunk, and now I just enjoy a little glass of wine, none of the hard stuff. So no, it's not vodka in a wine glass, it's wine in a wine glass. And cheers, and your very good health. And do drink responsibly, everybody.
I went on Twitter, and I know it's a mistake going on Twitter because Twitters are full of Twitter twats. Yes, Sleephead, I did see what you said about iPhone. I'm the same. I'm Android and Windows all the way. I don't believe in last century's technology. Jason, do you just a very quick one, Jason? Do you remember?
Yes.
Do you remember Tracy?
Tracy who?
Do you remember Tracy?
Which Tracy? Oh, Tracy from Swansea. That I once took from behind when she was being sick at a party.
No, Paul, I can't turn up Boaty's volume. Hang on, I might be able to. Hang on. Boaty's volume is on max. I'll add a filter. Hang on, I'll add a filter that will increase his volume. Just give me a second, Paul. Just give me a second.
Oh, look, it's Paul.
Just give me Jason. Entertain the troops, will you?
Yeah, okay. Hello, Paul. I didn't know that you watched this. Nice to see you. How are you, sir? Restream bot, whatever that is. Restream? Restream? I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing at all here. Anyway, let's have a look at this little. Oh, hello. Oh, dear me. Right. Well, yes. Cheers to everybody in America, and a very happy 4th of July to you. And Steve is doing some very clever things with technical bits and pieces, and I am drinking wine. And I hope you're all having a fabulous evening. It is, for point of reference, it is 10 past 10 p.m. here in the UK. I wasn't a very famous or well-known power seller, more a voyeur than a main participant. Lol. Okay.
Okay, Paul. Sorry for a
Much
second.
like
Sorry for a
myself.
second, Paul. I've just increased Boaty's volume by 10 dB. Is that making any difference? I'll just wait for Paul to answer that. Yeah, that's fine. Good, cool. That's fine. That works. Jason Rainbow, thank you.
Excellent.
I can go
Very good.
louder, but I don't want to distort it. Just let me hear back from Paul. Jason, there's some people on Reddit asking some questions. Um,
All right, let's have a look.
and we're up to 11 on Reddit.
Where are we now? Did George III go rabid mad because he lost America? I forgot why he lost his marbles. I can't answer that one. Is he was George III the one that went mad with the weird disease that meant that he was having phosphate around his head? I honestly can't remember. Ask me one about something else. I'm no expert on the royal family. Steve, any idea?
George III, no, I don't get involved. I don't get involved in.
Have you been to many garden parties at Buckingham Palace?
No. I've never.
No,
My other
surprised me.
half has been to a garden party at Buckingham Palace, but I haven't. I've never met the Queen. I've never met any of the royals. I've only ever seen them from a distance. And Paul Cooper's obviously working out if there's a gunshot outside. You're in Wolverhampton, Paul. Of course, it was a gunshot. What else would it be? Knives don't make bangs. Of course, it was a gunshot. Right.
Oh, is he not at his Spanish hacienda?
No, he's
slumming it with us in the UK, is he? Oh well, somebody's got to be.
I don't think George III went mad because he lost America. Like I say, with hindsight, we actually applaud the fact that you got independence. I think it was a very good thing. We really do celebrate July the 4th here in the thank fuck we got rid of them sort of way. So, but it had to be mentioned that day's American Independence Day. I mentioned this on Reddit, and somebody said to me, I actually said on Reddit that Happy Independence Day, you've got the society you deserve, and I really do. I really believe that America has exactly the society they deserve. They took that as an insult. That's fine.
So can I take it? Have we got American people
Yes, we
watching
have.
us? Right. All American people, I have a question for you. Why is it impossible to buy a sandwich in Las Vegas that doesn't have cheese on it, or your version of cheese? It's impossible. I once spent a whole night in Las Vegas trying to find a sandwich with no cheese, and it's entirely impossible. And I'd like to know why. What is it about your cheese? Why does everything have to have cheese on it? There you go, that's my question. And as a quick follow-up, I had a Big Mac today from McDonald's without cheese, because I'm civilised. Sorry to interrupt you, do carry on.
So I went out on Twitter, which was a mistake, and they started insulting me, and they threw all the insults at me, except for one that I've never heard before. And I thought, okay, I've never heard that insult before, and had to go and Google it, because I'd never, ever heard of it. Britain apparently is known as Turf Island, TERF, Turf Island. Did you know that? Did you know that, Jason?
Nope, never heard of that before.
Did anybody know that? Do you know what turf means?
I would imagine it's an acronym of
It is an acronym. It is an acronym. It is an acronym, right? And we are called Turf Island, right? You're going to love this. The
Empire of Relics and Fossils?
No. I will tell you what it means. It means trans-exclusionary radical feminists. I have no idea exactly what that means, but that's what Turf Island means, and that's what we're known as.
Okay. Are you a feminist?
I've no idea. I've no idea what trans-exclusionary means either. So.
Oh, well, I imagine that if you take that at kind of face value, I imagine it means that we are antagonistic towards the trans community, that we're not inclusive, that we don't accept our trans friends as a nation. I would imagine. Am
I
I
don't
wrong?
know. I don't know. I don't
Somebody
know.
tell me.
I know nothing about the trans community, and I know even less about. I know even less about feminists. But that's apparently what we're known as, Turf Island. So, and that came as quite a shock to me today. Put,
Well, that's an interesting question. So, do you think that we are an inclusive community towards trans and LGBT plus and all of the other bits that I've forgotten?
I've no idea. I've just told you I don't move in those circles.
Oh, yeah, but you can still see how society around you responds to them as a whole.
I really haven't got a clue. I mean, really, I have gay friends. um, if they identify as gay, and if they're willing, I've probably got friends who don't identify as gay that are gay. I've got no idea. I really don't ask. I
Okay,
don't,
well,
I don't move in those circles, Jason. I really do. I really do
here's
let
an
people
interesting little
believe
thing
in
for
live
you.
and let live. So that's it.
A couple of days ago, a major high street UK bank announced that all of their employees would have their pronouns clearly displayed on their name badges in branch. And when they put this out, they also put out a tweet to say that anybody who took offence at this and anybody who took offence at their support of the trans and wider diverse community could quite happily go and bank elsewhere. So if we were trans exclusive, I would say that we are changing, generally speaking, I think.
Right, you've got other questions on. There's a lot of other questions on Reddit, Jason. Don't ignore them. These are the people that
Okay.
pay the bill. Well, they don't pay the bills, but I know what they mean. Um, I can see what you said, Paul. I'm not ignoring you about Kim dropping something in the bath. I'm glad she's able to. So, Tracy, I can see what you're saying about feminists, but we'll just catch up with it. I know you can't see what's going on Reddit, but that's where our biggest audience is at the moment. So we'll just catch up on Reddit. So go on, Jason. There's some questions, and then Tracy.
I should have gone to an Indian restaurant in Vegas. They got no cheese. I didn't see an Indian restaurant in Vegas, to be perfectly honest with you. Otherwise, I might well have done exactly that. I did go to the Cheesecake Factory and just about everywhere else, but I didn't see an Indian restaurant. And in all honesty, I would tend not to go to an Indian restaurant anyway because my adopted family are Nepalese, so that's a slightly different cuisine, different part of Asia, and I would be drawn to go to a Nepalese restaurant or probably not Indian. But I didn't see one anyway. And to be fair, if I had, I was so desperate for something without cheese, I might well have done. Next time, truffle oil.
Meeped, are you still there?
That's not
And
really a question.
Tyson, are you still there? Sorry. Oh, pardon me. Carry on. Carry on, Jason. I'm just checking to see if Meeped and Tyson were still there. Um,
Cheesecake. There we are. Which Tracy is it? I remember a few Tracies from the Power Washer board.
sorry, Jason.
I was wondering which Tracy Rainbow Beach is. What was Rainbow Beach? What was your eBay ID? See if I remember you from the Power
She's
Washer
already
board.
told you. If you kept an eye on the chat, she's already told you. Can you tell him again, Tracy? Yeah,
Oh, hang
scroll
on,
up
I'll
the
have a look
YouTube
now.
chat. She told you up there. There you go. See, I said to you, like I said to you, Jason, you've got to be quick.
Oh, Rainbow Craft.
You can't
Rainbow
ignore
Craft.
these.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I remember you. I do remember you. I do. I do. Oh, excellent. Another face from the past, or name from the past. It's like the old Power Washer board. This is fun. I'll probably be banned in 5 minutes. Let's have a look on Reddit. What's happening? No, we're still talking about trans exclusion. Well, just for the record, I do consider myself to be a relatively ardent feminist, and I'm most definitely not trans exclusive. I do number amongst my friends trans people, and I don't think of them as trans people. I just think of them as people and my friends. So there you go. That's my view on that. But I can't speak for the rest of the UK, although I'd like to. Your turn to say something now, Steve.
Yeah, I'm just trying to sort it out. I'm just trying to sort it out because for some reason, your iPhone seems to have face tracking software, and it keeps moving every time you move out of screen. Your iPhone tries to focus it and do it. And I agree with what Neeped says. I agree with what Neeped says because you can discuss the trans issues all you want. Um, I'm with Neeped because as far as I'm concerned, um, people are people, folk are folk. I treat people as, like I said, I treat people as they find them. If people wish to identify to me as trans or bisexual, I will quite happily, I will quite happily let them. But it doesn't affect how I view them. I mean, for instance, Tracy, for instance, I happen to know is trisexual, and that has never ever bothered me. We've had a great relationship over the years, because I don't do it. Yes, I know it's Jason's software that's doing the tracking. It's a fucking pain because every time it fucking tracks, I've got to go round and I've got to go and track it back again to get it out of the window, to get it come back in the window. So, but like I said, um, he's on an iPhone. I don't know. It's 25-year-old technology. I mean, I really don't know anything about iPhones. Why people use iPhones and iPads is truly beyond me. It truly is. It's one of life's great mysteries, right? There's several mysteries in life, right? It's one of life's great mysteries is if a petrol station is open 24 hours, why the fuck does it have a lock on the door, right? And why the fuck do ATMs drive through ATMs in America have braille on the keyboards, right? And why the fuck do people use iPhones? I mean, this is like, this is one of life's great mysteries. Why do people use anything Apple? I mean, do they like being, are they missing the 20th century? Is that what it is? I mean, do they want to go back to the days of where you made telephone calls with rotary dials and you went on a telephone box and you press the A and B button and where they stunk the cigarettes and bits? I really truly don't understand. It'll be one of those days that I really won't understand for the rest of my life. I'll never understand why people use iPhones and iOSs. Oh, look, this fucking software is tracked again, which means I'm going to have to piss about. Oh, I'm not. I'm giving up. Fucking it. I'm giving it. I'm giving up. Just let this software fuck about. It's that's happened for you. That's what I mean. It's shit. Look, I've got Windows software here, and it's perfect. It's kept me in focus. It's not got any of this crap. Yeah, you're right, Neepeg. Jason probably is good at hide and seek. His software's playing hide and seek, so fuck it. I ain't tracing around all after his software all night. That's that, right.
Could I just add to that and say that I do actually have a phone with a rotary dial, and I love it very much. I call it Wilfred.
Yeah, his image, Tracy, his image up there. There you go. It's just gone again. It's just gone large now, so it's tracked again because it's moved his head. So in a minute it'll track again to make it smaller. But he can't even change his background on his phone, and I've got no idea what we're doing there. I'm actually struggling. I'll tell you what. I'm actually struggling to see what's going on. So I'm going to do something now. I'm actually going to take my I'm actually take my contact lenses out, and I'm going to take them out live on there. So entertain the troops, Jason, while I take my contact lenses out.
Okay, well, what should we talk about, folks? Let's see. Oh, God, nobody needs to see that, do they? Dear me. Well, now that Steve has paused from his ranting about iPhones and iPads and Apple, oh, Jesus, God. Oh, dear me. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 I can't be dealing with that. How do people cope with contact lenses? I could not possibly do that in a million years. That was awful. That was worse than childbirth. Oh, no, no, never do that again in my presence. Dear me. Anyway, where were we? I've completely lost track now. Okay, Let's do an exciting feature. What do you prefer, socks that are plain or socks with a pattern on them?
Right. Someone on Reddit. Yeah, he's the same, Jason Tracy. He hasn't changed at all. Somebody on Reddit just asked the question: what's my worldview like now versus 30 years ago? It's a very good question. I'll answer it in a sec. GRLZ to GRLZ. I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese, so I've got no idea what you're talking about. My worldview now, 30 years ago, what was 30 years ago? 1990. 1992, I just started using the internet with a company called Demon Internet, 1992. And I had an expectation in 1992 that the internet would change the world for the better. I thought in 1992 that we would have this truly global village where, because the internet would allow everybody across the world to instantly communicate with each other, there would be no wars. Wars would not happen because of misunderstandings. That was my worldview then in 1992. With hindsight, 30 years ago, I look back and think, you fucking wanker. That's never going to happen. So that's my change in worldview now. I expected to one thing, and it never materialised. War still happens, I'm afraid. Tracy, just to tell you that I've got two people watching on Twitch. Hello, two people watching on Twitch, Neephead and Samsley, I know that. On Facebook, I've got one watching, which I think is Paul Cooper, but I'm not too sure. On YouTube, we've got two watching, and on Reddit, we have 16 viewers. So,
Wow, big
yeah,
audience.
big audience.
Now, we've had a question. If I can interrupt you, Steve, we've had a question come in from Westphalian Archer 04, who asks, why is the UK even a rich country? What do you guys even export? I can't think of a British product I use. Now, interestingly, he wrote that in the English language. So there's a British product you use, your language, your words. That came from us, along with other cultural aspects. So that's answered that one. And he goes on to say, also, what do you think about native Europeans becoming the minority in the future? Well, you have that one. I need to think about that.
I need to think about what the fuck a native European is. What?
Yeah,
what
well,
exactly
that's kind of where I was going.
What exactly is a native European? I'll tell you one thing: the Americans, we export to America humour, sense of humour, because you don't have your own sense of humour. All right, you really don't. Okay, you have no sense of humour at all. You've actually got everybody else's sense of humour. But I don't know. I don't know why you were. I don't know what a native European is. Somebody that's born in Europe. Somebody that's born in Europe. Oh, good. Jason, Tracy's enjoying your presenting. So we'll solve that problem. There we go. We'll solve that problem quite easily. There we go. Carry on, Jason.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Tracy. It's called naive, useless, not a clue what on earth I'm doing, and really wanting this glass of wine to be. Oh, what's happened there? Something's gone weird. I can't cope with that. What's going on? Help! Okay, carry on. Oh my God. Steve, what have you done? The display's all gone weird.
Tracy's enjoying it's your stream now. Go for it. They like you more than they like me. Go for it.
Absolute nonsense.
Go for it. Go for it.
Well, okay. What? Oh God, brothers.
Billy Boots.
Oh no. You have a Nicholas Farage. Are you related to him? Look. I presume that you mean Nigel Farage, and you are not the first person by a long chalk to say that. There's are you one of my YouTube followers winding me up? Who is it? Kiln643. There's a thing amongst my YouTube followers that I look or sound or something like Nigel Farage. And that I'm missing earning an enormous income as a Nigel Farage tribute act. I don't think I look like Nigel Farage. I don't think I sound like Nigel Farage. And if I had the political views and integrity of Nigel Farage, I would go and jump off something very, very high indeed. The man is an absolute disgrace. I cannot abide him. And I always thought that I used to look more like David Williams. So there you are. Can I be excused to go and fill my wine glass?
Yeah,
up,
you
please?
go for it. You go for it. You go for it. You go for it.
Cheers.
Yeah, Tracy, I'm only joking. I know you like Jason's presenting style. This is all totally unrehearsed. I did threaten to do it for ages ago. Just let me GRL that girls to girls, right? Girls to girls. I did get what you said. I'm I'm not quite understand. I'm really not quite getting what you're talking about. I'm really not quite getting what you're talking about when you say about you'd like to be more like Bravo Bravo. Westphalian Archer '04, Island Monkeys. No, I'm sorry. Again, I don't speak Japanese, so I really don't have a clue. Yes, it is a wooden beam. It is a wooden beam, Paul. Well spotted. Well spotted, Paul. It is a wooden beam. So Tracy, I think he said it was an Italian wine he was drinking. When he comes back, we'll ask him. I think he's gone out for a cigarette because the one thing we can't do, I don't do it. I don't do it, but one of the things we can't do, one of the unwritten rules about YouTube is you can't be seen smoking on air. And YouTube will end live streams when you're smoking, so we've got to be careful. Um, Hello, Paulsy P. Going back on American humour. If you're American, I also don't get their humour. I don't get their humour, but there again, I don't get a lot of I don't get a lot of British humour. I mean, apparently, two of the biggest comedians here are a guy called Ricky Gervais and Russell Brand, and both of these turn my stomach. I just don't find them funny. Um, Pardon my French. Um, Girls to girls, right? Okay, we're communicating now. I'm just not understanding some of your questions. You would be like Bravo, Bravo. Exactly. What does that mean? Remember, I'm old. Okay, Jason is old. We're both over 50, so we're not down with the kids, so to speak. So we're not into this modern speak. I mean, we still think sick means throwing up. So you'll have to bear with us on that one. It's like Westphalian Archer '04. It just said Island Monkeys, and I've got no idea what they're talking. Actually, I know exactly what they're talking about, but I'm just ignoring it. Um, so I know you're a woman from California. Palsy P. I've not spoken to you before. Hello, it's nice to have you. I don't get the American humour either. Saying that though, I watched a film the other day, which actually an American film, which actually made me laugh. There's not many American films that make me laugh, but The Adam Project did make me snigger. So I did enjoy that one. So good evening. While you were gone, Jason, there was a question about your wine.
Oh, Pinot Grigio. Very palatable it is too. Cheers, everybody. Bottoms up. What did you have for dinner tonight?
There was a question about your wine.
Well, what was the question? I've just said it was Pinot
Right,
Grigio.
okay, so it's not so long. What did I have for dinner tonight? What did I have for dinner tonight? I had Hunter's chicken. I had Hunter's chicken with boiled new potatoes and mixed veg, which is really nice.
And who made that?
Sean,
You or Sean?
Because you've been doing it. I don't do. I do some cooking, but not a lot.
Well, you've been doing a bit lately, haven't you? We were all treated to your what was it? Beef and ale pie.
Steak and ale pie, and
steak and ale pie.
Steak and ale pie, and I did a sausage toad, which is a debate I was going to have another time because apparently most people call it toad in the hole, but down south we call it sausage toad, which is something we've always called it.
Is it?
And I do a nice noodle bake, sausage and mushroom noodle bake. Yeah, girls to girls. I'm sorry. This is what I mean. You're wandering off, right? I got that you're a woman from California. Okay, I got that you're a woman from California. Um, but then you said that's a problem with your government. What is the problem with my government? I'm not. I'm not 100% certain what you're talking about. It's. It, what is the problem with my government? I'm LGBTQ. I always find the UK is getting into people's privacy rights. I've I've never spent my entire life getting into people's privacy rights. I try and get into people's underwear, but not into privacy rights. So
I would actually,
this is something that's new to me. Willie in the hole. Well done, Tracy. Palsy. No, I've not seen you stream on Reddit. Or your name doesn't ring a bell? Can you remind me what it is you stream? And I'll probably tell you if I've seen it. Can you remind me what you stream? Right.
I would like to take issue with the Californian lady because I think that the UK's both the governmental and societal view of LGBTQ plus has really massively changed over the last, certainly over the last 5 years. I don't know what coverage or views you get over there in the States, but I can tell you very definitely that in the UK there is a massive movement towards inclusivity. And indeed, we've just enjoyed the 50th anniversary of the inaugural Pride Parade in London, which was a pretty amazing event, and it was incredibly well supported by both individuals and businesses and government organisations. And there is a real push, a general push throughout the UK media to really become a genuinely and truly inclusive society. Don't wake Steve up, he's sleeping peacefully. And it's nice to see a man sleeping like a baby. And I imagine that in a few minutes he'll wake screaming and foul himself and probably need changing. Nurse, he might need his medication again.
Um, we've got a hater and a troll. We've got a troll and a hater, Jason. So
Oh, awesome.
I'll let you deal
Where?
with them. On Reddit, I'll let you deal with them.
Where? Reddit. Which one's that?
Well,
Oh, that's
it
on
should
my
be too fucking hard to work it out. Look,
That is on my right-hand iPad. I am operating a two iPad system, ladies and gentlemen, and others. And on my left is YouTube and the other things I've never heard of. And on the right, I have Reddit. Now, where's my troll? I'd love to have a troll. Let's see. Um, am I drinking a Californian Pinot Grigio? No, I'm drinking an Italian Pinot Grigio because the Pinot Grigio grape is from southern Italy, and I do like to be authentic. May I kiss you now? Absolutely, go for it. I'll kiss
tell me about it,
anybody in
Ballsy.
the
Tell me
spirit
about
of
it.
friendship. Sorry?
I was agreeing with Ballsy.
You're agreeing with who?
I'm agreeing with Ballsy P.
Oh, right. Where's the troll then?
He's on YouTube. He said,
I was on.
"Oh, a troll on Reddit. There's a surprise." I agree. There's a surprise.
Yeah, I can't find the troll.
Westphalian Archer 04.
Oh, English originates from Anglo-Saxon, which is a German language. So another thing that comes from Germany, exactly like your royal family.
He's
Well,
going to spend the entire evening telling us everything bad about the British.
well, he's got an interesting point. Of course, Europe, the dichotomization of Europe is a relatively recent thing. Europe was originally all one landmass and was originally all one people. So we all originate from a single source. And if you go further back, then we all originate from the same Homo sapien, Homo erectus that we all evolved from. So we're all brothers and sisters under the skin.
Yeah,
And
you're not wrong.
if somebody is German or if they're French or if they're British, what difference does it make? They might speak a different language, but hey, I'm from one part of the UK. I speak differently from Steve, who is from another part of the UK and has a different accent. Really doesn't make any difference. People are people, you know, it's all good. Where's the issue?
I think lesbians have got it sussed.
Oh, here we
No,
go.
I do. I think they've got it sussed because I'll tell you what, right?
Here we
They've
go.
got a serious advantage. There's no arguing over who sleeps on the wet spot.
Have you not heard about squirting?
Oh, yeah, of course I know about squirting, Jason.
Well, trust me, that creates a wet spot.
Yes, but when you've got to, never mind. If I have to explain it to you, right, I need Peter. I think I'm going to need Peter and Jane books to try and explain that one to you. That just went way over your head. You're right, Paulsy P. We did win the war, so no to everybody. Yes, right. Okay, I did have a whole list of things. That I wanted to talk about tonight, but I forgot. You're about to get a pissed off Salvadorian. Okay, water sports is another thing that I've never really got into. I'm sorry. So again, you've lost me. You've lost me, girls to girls. You've lost me completely on the water sports and what. Tracy knows what I'm talking about.
I must admit, I don't know if it's politically correct to say, but I do enjoy water sports. When I was in North Africa and when I was in Cyprus, I was pulled along in the sea with some other people on a large inflatable banana pulled behind a speedboat, and that was wonderful fun. I enjoyed that very much. So I'm all in favour of water sports, and if that's what the ladies get up to, fair play to them. I would join in myself or drive the speedboat. Your choice. I'm very happy.
Oh, so
It's
yeah.
wonderful.
I personally, I don't want my stream turned into some political agenda. Like I said all along, I treat people as I find them.
What's political about an inflatable banana?
What their pronouns are. If they want to identify as an inflatable banana, that's absolutely fine by me. What people's pronouns are is fine. I don't move in the circles of LBG, LBQBT. I haven't even got the initials or the trans. I don't move in those circles. I'm not very active, and a lot of my friends aren't active in those circles either. However, a lot of my friends are. I know that quite a few of my friends do identify as alternative genders. Oh, that's it. That's it. Sorry, Tracy. Thank you. LGBTQ plus. A lot of my friends do identify as that, but I ignore that. They're my friends, regardless of what their preferences and their pronouns are. So I don't get involved in the politics of it, and I don't get involved in this turf island debate. Like I said, it's the first time today that I've heard the expression, and I gather it's an insult, and it's not. It doesn't work on me because
it's not even an accurate insult, so we don't need to worry about that.
I didn't even realise that we had radical feminists here. If we do, it's outside of my. It's outside of my. It's outside of my circle. I'm sorry. I really, like I said, I don't move in those circles. I mean, I've got to be. I've got to be. Yeah, you're not wrong. I did get LBW. You're not wrong. I mean, I don't. I don't. I don't. Yes, Paul. Well done. Oh, look, snap camera's playing up. Hang on, I have to turn the snap camera off because it's playing up. So let's turn that off. Carry on. Oh, it's back again. That's working. So I don't. It's out of my realm of experience. I don't activate for any of them. I'm personally quite. I'm personally 100% heterosexual. Like I said, my friends are my friends, regardless of their sexuality. It doesn't make any difference to me. And for all I know, Jason could identify as a saucepan. In fact, Jason identifies as a colander. I've seen his pictures. He actually identifies as a colander. But if he did identify as a saucepan, I want to boil a pound of spuds. So
I don't identify as a colander. I'm a minister at the Pastafarian Church, so our religious headwear is indeed a colander or pasta strainer if you live in America. That doesn't mean that I identify as one. It's merely the religious headwear that we wear on special occasions. I do identify as something. I identify as a Welshman. That is the identity that I choose. It happens to be accurate, but if I identify myself as anything, then it is a Welshman. A Welshman and part of humanity generally, but a Welshman. Oh, here we go. All Brits are part of LGBT since they are attracted to sheep. That's traditionally the sheep attraction thing. That's traditionally attributed to the Welsh, which is my country. And all I've got to say to that is that if you go into a Welsh mining town where men are really men, they work hard, they drink hard, they play rugby hard, and they fight hard. Go into a Welsh rugby club and say all Welsh people are attracted to sheep, and good luck. Have fun.
I'm identifying as pastor.
Yeah, we can see.
Oh, I thought I'd identify as pastor. Good evening,
Yeah.
Jarek Jarrah. What do they say about Welshmen? I've got no idea what they say about Welshmen. All Brits are part of LBC. See what I mean, Jason? You can deal with that.
I just did. You missed it. You were too busy identifying as a plate of spaghetti bolognese.
Well, yes, because you said that. It's because you said about. It's because you said about. To be honest, snap camera's not working properly, so I'm gonna have to kill that. I think kill that. So that's not working properly. So let's take that off. What fucking one is it? I don't know. That one. Yep, there we go. Right. Yeah, Jarek, I know they say that about Yorkshiremen and sheep chasing. All Brits are part of LGBT. I've never had sex with a sheep in my life, and I don't fancy sheep. Meatbed says, my friend was sick, I gave her some pasta, but it didn't even macaroni better. Oh, God almighty. Didn't even make it. Yes, you're right, that will work in a Scottish accent, Meatbed. That will work in a Scottish accent.
And our Californian friend, the pasta, is making her hungry. And I'm starting to get a bit peckish as well. And I'm wondering what I should have for supper. And I would like to know, our Californian friend, what time is it there? What is your next meal? And what have you got planned? I would love to know. Let me know. Comment. There's always someone saying something about a certain group of people. Yes, there absolutely is. This is jolly good fun, isn't it? Excuse me.
I'm going to have a piss. I'll be back in a second. Carry on, Jason.
Oh, that means I'm in charge. Can I press things and change things? Or, okay. Well, what should we talk about? I would love to know who. Oh, hang on. Who cares about that? Who cares about what? I don't know what you don't want to care about. If it's who's having what for dinner, then I care about that because I live for food. I live to make food. I live to feed others, and I live to eat. And I'm always thinking about what I'm going to eat next. Oh, hello. Also, what's up with Brits and their crooked teeth? You must be an expert. Well, that's not all Brits. That's just me, and possibly a couple of others. But you'll find that many British people have absolutely splendid teeth. Firm, white, even, resonant, marvellous things. You must be an expert. I'm an expert on certain things, yeah. I'm an expert on, let's see what I'm an expert on. I'm an expert on Asian cuisine. I'm an expert on certain classic car marques. I'm an expert on professional cycling between 1980 and 1992. because that was the period that I raced through. Steve, what are you an expert on?
Can I just check something? Jarek, are you my friend Jarrow? I just want to check. Jarek, are you Jarrow? I think you are, but I just want to double check that. Yeah, Westphalian Archer. I'll answer you. I'll answer your question about teeth when you tell me why all Americans are overweight. I thought you were Jarrow. Thank you. Why all Americans are fat bastards? I mean, you really are. Seriously, I've been to America so many times, and you are all seriously overweight. I would sooner have crooked teeth than be a fat bastard. I really would. So that's all I can say. I can't speak for Jason, but in my case, the reason I've got bad teeth is because I have cancer, and the chemotherapy is destroying my gums, which is causing me to lose teeth. But that's another conversation for another time.
And the reason I have bad teeth is because I have malignant hyperpyrexia, which has absolutely screwed lots of things up, including my teeth, which is unfortunate, but hey ho, I'm alive, so it's all good.
Don't mention the war, Jason.
Oh, yes, I see.
Don't mention the
Yeah.
war.
You mentioned it once, but I think you got away with it. We're a bit past that, aren't we?
That's interesting, Westphalian. That's very interesting, Westphalian Archer. That's very interesting. You say that you're German. My grandfather used to commute to Germany.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I know what's coming.
I just thought you'd like to know that my grandfather used to commute to Germany. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, Tracy. We do. We have free healthcare, and I love it. I think we do. So, I've certainly had my money's worth out of free healthcare. I certainly think we've had my money out of the world's healthcare. I, I'm going to change the subject in a minute because I think we're getting into some political things that I really don't want to get into because I don't want my stream used for different people's political agenda. We covered. We've covered. I've got to scroll back now to get the wording right. We've covered.
LGBTQ plus.
That's it. You've got it. You've got it, Jason. Well done. You're in charge of saying that word. Nice, Neatped. Nice. I'm just going to copy what you've said. This is what Neatped has said on Twitch, which you on Reddit can't see, but I'll just copy that. So there you go. German sausages, they're the worst, but you have to see it written down in text. I want to change the subject now for a minute because.
Can I just say, Paul Cooper, go and sit in the corner and think about what you've just typed.
I want to change the subject now because I want to talk about something that's particularly UK based. All right. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. I want to talk about something that's a bit UK based. The main story in the UK today is that protesters, because of the high fuel costs, protesters have brought our motorway network to a halt. And they've been protesting today. They have been
In a
protesting
really
today.
half-assed way.
Yeah, and they've been protesting on the M4 and the M5. Now, I looked at it and I just laughed this morning at it because what the protest is on the M5, they're actually driving at 30 miles an hour and they call it a go slow. Well, I've driven the M5, right? And trust me, 30 miles an hour isn't actually improving the traffic speed. So it's a very bizarre protest when they've actually improved the traffic speed on the M5. But we have got at the moment, we've got very, very high fuel costs. I went to Birmingham. I drove to Birmingham yesterday, and on the way back, I stopped at some motorway services. I didn't fill up the fuel at the motorway services, but I just happened to notice the prices: £2 and 5p for a litre of unleaded, and £2 and 13p for a litre of diesel, which is absolutely astronomical considering that back in March. Unleaded was 132 a litre, and diesel was 134 a litre. So now the retail cost of a barrel of oil is actually lower now than it was a year ago. I can't give you the exact figures. I'm going to Google them, but I can't work out why these petrol costs are still quite high. This is what these protests are about because our fuel costs have become astronomical. I mean, it actually cost me £34 to get to Birmingham back yesterday, which is absolutely ridiculous. It would normally cost me less than £20 in petrol, but it actually cost me £34, which is something. And Paul just said, I agree with you, Paul. I can't understand how people spending money driving slowly and burning fuel can be helping. I don't understand why either. However, we have these fuel protests going on, and I just wanted to seek some people's opinions on the fuel protests. So, come on, Jason, have you got any opinions on
it? Well, it's interesting you say that. I did hear this morning that there were fuel protests, and I kind of doubted that they would be as effective as they were in France, where the yellow vests, as they're known, brought the country crawling to a halt. And I had to go somewhere today. I had to drive 2 hours to go to somewhere to record a piece about tips for economical driving and fuel saving to mitigate the effects of exactly what we're talking about. And I set off early because it did involve 3 motorways to get there, and I thought I might get delayed. As it turned out, it made absolutely no difference. From what I understand, the protests took place relatively early in the morning, and they were fairly short-lived, and I think there were 14 arrests made. So a relatively low-key affair. It's not in the British way to protest about things. It's the British way to gently grumble and complain and then just get on with it. So I doubt that you will see much more in the way of protests about the price of fuel. And it is, I mean, the whole cost of living thing at the moment is a real issue. And I think that on the whole, again, I know you don't want to get political, but I think that the steps the government have taken are quite appropriate. And that's about all I've got to say on the protests. Use public transport where possible. Walk more where possible. Don't take your big 4x4 to take the kids to school 600 yards down the bloody road. Just walk instead. And yeah, that's about it. There is something else I could say, but I really can't.
Go for it. Go for it. Just say it. Go for it. Go for it. Say it.
No. What I will say is that the piece I went to record today kind of went a bit off kilter. We did come up with some genuine tips for saving fuel and for driving more economically. And that's a subject that I could bore you for on 3 hours, because people don't take driving anywhere near enough seriously. But it kind of span off when we got through the serious bit, and we decided that the most effective way to improve your fuel economy was not to give lifts to fat people. And as I told you earlier in a message, that then span off into whether we would be more efficient arse wipers if we were paid to do it on a professional basis. And we also discussed optimal arse wiping techniques and optimal use of toilet paper, because we're not posh like you, and we don't have an automatic toilet that automatically wipes your bottom
You haven't
with hot
lived
water.
without an automatic toilet. You know what you're missing.
I don't think I'm missing anything very much. I don't think it would be effective. I don't think that squirting hot water at my bottom after I've had a plop would be as effective as giving it a jolly good wipe.
Warm water, and it's better.
But surely you need friction.
No.
Have you got a hairy arse?
No.
Well, what about if you've got a hairy crevice?
I'm on chemotherapy. I've got no body hair from the neck downwards.
Oh, that's interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've got no body hair from the neck downwards. which is a bit
See,
annoying.
there's something else. There's something else that we should discuss. You and I, and
You want to
Paul, who's
discuss my
watching.
naked body?
Well, a subject slightly related to it. Now, when I was in my very late 40s, I was introduced to the concept of manscaping. And that came as something entirely new to me. And Paul, who's watching at the moment, he was one of the people who told me that I was an old dinosaur and I really needed to get with it and do some manscaping. Now, because of your chemotherapy, you are kind of automatically manscaped. But there is a question there as to whether people of our vintage, gentlemen, anybody listening, do you manscape? Do you trim? What have you got down there? Is it the full Ken Dodd, or do you trim it down to be a bit more respectable looking?
Prior to the cancer, I shaved it all off. I was completely bald downstairs. If you talk about cutting
Why?
the top, I shaved it all off because it was a pain in the arse. That's why. And it's certainly easier to keep clean. It certainly smells less. But I shaved it all off. I've got a little thingy here. There you go. Look, I use one of those.
We don't want to see your little
I
thingy.
use one of those.
Oh, okay.
So I shaved it all off. I've shaved it all off for years. My the women I've been with prefer it that way as well. I just shave it all off. It was so much easier. Um, Paulsy P has a bidet. Paulsy P understands what I mean. I have a closet-mat, which is an automatic toilet, but a bidet does the same sort of thing. So that's that. Paulsy P also said that everybody has increased living expenses. You don't see people complaining about that, and I agree. I agree. It gets a bit ridiculous, Paulsy, when you get some of the things. I mean, how do you complain about the rising cost of toilet paper? Do you do you do you do you stop using toilet paper? I mean, what about the rising cost of Tampax? You stop using Tampax. You know, it's or the rising cost of soap. You stop using soap. I mean, how do you protest against those sort of things? And fuel is just one of many costs. Yeah. Oh, you have a closet too? Yeah, they're great toilets. They are. I love my closet. I love it. It's a great toilet. It's nothing like it, Paulsy P. So, so
I would feel violated. I would feel violated if I sat on my
yeah.
own
Well
personal
done, Paul. Well
lavatory.
done.
Hey, what?
What Paul just said. I like what Paul just said.
Oh, I was on a bit of a delay. Yeah, I've just seen it. Dear me. Yeah, I would actually feel violated if I sat on one of those automated lavatories that does things with your underpinnings. I prefer full manual control in that area. Now, some of my cars are automatic, and I quite enjoy that on certain roads and in a certain type of car. But when it comes to those sort of doings, I want to be fully manual. Thank you very much.
Oh, you'd be surprised. No, no.
I'd be bloody amazed if I was sitting there and some robotic hand came out and started taking a wet swipe at my undercarriage. Yeah.
Paulsy P, no, that's not too much information at all. Well, I'm quite happy to discuss disabilities. I myself am disabled. I'm I'm in a wheelchair. I'm not right now. I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm I have two disabilities which have forced me to be in a wheelchair. So I'm quite happy to discuss it. In fact, I'm a bit of an advocate for the disabled. I don't think that the disabled are are treated well enough. There's a lot of people that are LGBTQ activists, but I think that the disabled people are the forgotten people of the UK. If I'm truly honest, so it's not too much information at all. In fact, if you don't mind me asking, Paul P, can you tell me what is your disability? If you don't mind me asking, what is your disability? I'll just wait for him to answer there.
It's an interesting subject, um, and I think that you're right in that disability awareness it's perhaps not as, in inverted commas, as cool as some other issues that possibly get more coverage in the press at the moment. But it's absolutely a pressing issue. And I 100% agree that, as in all areas of diversity, it's something that every culture on earth really has a moral duty to keep pushing forward with, because society should be 100% inclusive. And I think that even if you're even if you're not disabled yourself, it's very easy to see where disabled people are, if not viewed to be less than, then made to be less than, because the facilities simply aren't there to facilitate them. I'll give you one example. I run a large online singles network, and I've run it now for 6 years. From day one, I've insisted that our entire network is accessible to the VI community, the visually impaired community, which means that unlike every other Facebook group, wider social media network going, we don't allow memes, we don't allow pictures unless they've got alt text. Our entire storyboard is available for the visually impaired via the screen readers that they use, which of course can't pick up memes and so on. We don't allow endless selfie pictures. We don't allow posts on coloured backgrounds with fancy text, because again the VI readers can't pick up on them. And that's just one tiny example. I know that as a relatively recent wheelchair user, you've been documenting your experiences of trying to use public transport and simply make your way around in the world. And it's not been easy, has it?
No, it's not been easy at all. Just to let you know that Palsy P, his disability is cerebral palsy, which is a hell of a disability. It really does affect people, and I'm glad that you're making the use of it. And if you type with your nose, that's absolutely fine. Yes, we will of course allow for any delay. And it's absolutely great that the technology exists that you're able to actually talk. I mean, I keep looking back at Stephen Hawking, the great physicist. He had ALS. I forget what ALS stands for. I know it's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, which is a muscle wasting disease. He's gone now, but he was a wonderful advocate for the disabled. Jason, just talk for a minute, will you? I just need to check something.
Yeah, sure. Interestingly, Palsy P, I guessed from your username that was your disability, and I'm just thinking about your username, and I think, on balance, I think it's great that you choose a username that kind of puts out something about you, but I hope that you don't fully identify yourself by your disability. I think if you choose that as a username, and if you do that to kind of put it out there, and yeah, this is it, this is part of me, this is part of who I am, then that's great. But I hope that you don't entirely identify yourself by your disability, because we've all got bloody disabilities in one way or another. Some more extreme than others, some more devastating than others. Some are relatively minor, but we've all got them, and none of us should define ourselves by them. We should never be defined by things that are beyond our control, I think.
I Just coming back to something I said earlier, right? We're talking about closet mats, Jason. I actually filmed myself using the closet mat, and while you were talking, I've just managed to get the film, so I'm actually going to run it. This is me having a Tom on my closet mat. And then you'll understand what you're missing.
I can't believe I'm watching this.
Really Drying's nice as well.
Right, I can't cope with any more of that. I'll leave you to review it. I'm dictating for 20 seconds.
Oh.
Dear God.
So there we go. That's me using my automatic toilet, which washes and dries me. Which, as I say, is a wonderful experience, and I wouldn't be without it. And like I say, Paulty, I'm glad the technology does that silicon sealant in the background go on before or after the wash. I'll tell you what, right? I should be using silicon sealant. I wish I could. I think that was filmed the day that I'd actually had the toilet installed, and they converted my bathroom into a wet room, and I think that was filmed the day I filmed that the first day I had my toilet because I was fascinated with it. But given the fact that I'm on prophylactic, which if you don't know what that means, prophylactic means basically permanent. I'm on prophylactic antibiotics. I'm on two different antibiotics, azithromycin and cotrimoxazole. And between the two of them, they give me the worst runs possible. I mean, I never understood until I was on those antibiotics what shitting through the eye of a needle means. I never truly grasped that until I could actually shit through the eye of a needle. And so, yeah, that sealant could come in quite handy.
Steve,
Really come in quite handy. Yeah.
as you know, on my YouTube channel, I have a feature called Boaty's Bugs, where I review lavatories on behalf of the viewing public. Could I come and have a go on yours?
You want to come and shit on my toilet?
I would like to come and review your toilet, yeah.
Does that involve shitting on it?
Not necessarily, but I wouldn't entirely exclude it.
Are you able to plan your shits that closely?
I'm pretty regular.
You can shit on demand.
Well, no, I just always go at 3 minutes past 11.
So what you're asking is can you come around my house and take a shit?
No, what I'm asking you is, can I come round to your house and do an objective, impartial, and professional review of your lavatory?
Does that involve taking a shit in it?
Probably not, but I can't entirely exclude the possibility.
Well, how are you going to review my lavatory if you can't take a shit in it?
Have a look at my other lavatory reviews. I talk about the access. I talk about the cleanliness. I talk about the facilities. I talk about the charge, if there's a charge.
Jason, I've looked at your public lavatory review videos. I've also looked at the type of clientele you attract with these reviews, right? And I really don't want to get involved with those sort of people. Fort Walton Bleach, yeah, you're right. This is particularly why I asked Boaty to come on. But we're still trying to establish. Boaty, look, just you want to come round and shit in my toilet, right?
That's not absolutely what I said now, is it? That's not absolutely what I said. I would like to come round and experience your toilet as an
which means
objective.
shitting in it. So you
Not necessarily. Do you never go to your toilet unless you're going to have a shit?
Well, what else are you going to do in my toilet? Masturbate in it?
Have a wee. Have a wee. Sit. Do the crossword. Enjoy yourself. Luxuriate. It's a little refuge from the world, isn't it? Yeah. You don't always have to empty your ass.
Indeed, Neeped. I do worry about his motivation. I mean, trying to get a simple answer out of him. Do you want to come round here and shit in my toilet? It's totally different. But yeah, yes. If you want to come round and shit in my toilet, Jason, you are more than welcome to come round and shit in my toilet.
I would
Right?
just like to experience it as a professional reviewer. Look,
I already reviewed it once with my video. Did you not get? Did you not get a sense of? Did you not get a sense of what the toilet does
I
in
didn't
my
get any
video?
bloody commentary. I got no commentary. You just looked as if you were, well, I don't know, you looked as if somebody was, you looked as if you were being tickled by Lionel Blair.
I felt like I was being tickled by Lionel Blair.
Hmm.
I know what he's after, Paul. I know what he's after.
Aren't you the lucky one?
Have you seen what's going on Reddit? Do you want to have a look at what's going on Reddit with Fort Walton Bleach? Right? I mean, literally, they all think you're wonderful.
Oh, God, they need to get a life.
Yeah, I know. They need to get away. They'll think you're wonderful.
Well, I am special.
What you don't know, Fort Walton Bleach, right? What you don't know, Fort Walton Bleach. I'm going to tell you. Right? Jason actually lives in Derbyshire. In Derbyshire, right?
True.
It's known as tribal lands, right? Because they don't have things like running water, they don't have things like electricity, and they
We have
don't have
waterfalls, you great
indoor
idiot.
toilets. Shush, Jason, or I'll mute you. They don't have indoor toilets, right? Okay. So what they do is they spend their entire lives trying to blag a shit in anybody else's house because they want to come inside and have a shit in the warm. All right. This is what this is all about. But Jason won't admit this, right? All he's doing is he's trying to blag somewhere where he can take a shit in the warm because at home he has to go out in the cold and the snow because it snows in Derbyshire all year round. He has to come out in the cold and take a shit. But what he's actually trying to do is he's trying to blag a shit in somewhere warm. So if you understand that, you understand exactly where he's coming from. Carry on, Jason.
Well, okay, where do I start with that? Okay, Derbyshire. I live in, for those who are aware of UK geography, I live in the Peak District National Park, an area of outstanding natural beauty.
Is that Derbyshire?
And some,
Is
sorry?
that Derbyshire?
It covers various counties.
Do you live in Derbyshire?
Yes.
Right. Carry on.
I have a perfectly delightful lavatory.
Is it indoors?
Which is warm.
Is
Eh?
it indoors?
Of course it's indoors.
Prove it.
What's the matter with you?
Prove it.
What, do you want me to take the phone to the lavatory?
Yes.
No.
I want you to prove you've got an indoor lavatory.
Where do you think I shit? In the bottom of the garden?
Yes.
Hang on. You have been to my house. You know I have an indoor lavatory.
I never went to the lavatory in your house.
And technically, that it was the other house, wasn't it? You came to Matlock Bath.
I came to the house where the woman claimed that she owned the road.
Oh, yeah. Well, did you see?
Just bear with me for a second. People on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Reddit, do we want to see his shitter?
No, excellent, jolly good.
See, they want to see your shit. Now, you seriously, Jason, you've got to prove that you've got an indoor shitter, and you're not just trying to blag a shit in the wall.
How do I prove that?
Go and take your phone and show us your shitter.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Show us your shitter. Show to me that you're not trying to blag a shit in the wall.
Oh my God! Really?
Really? Seriously, show me your shitter.
I don't believe I'm doing this. I do not believe I'm doing this. Jesus Christ!
You can show your shitter. One 001 001. Yes. I've no idea what you've just stumbled into. It's whatever you want. At the moment, my friend Jason is just showing us his toilet. Right?
There.
You've frozen, Jason. You've lost the signal.
Oh, you stopped.
Come on. We want to see your shitter.
I'm just showing it to you. Did you not see it?
No, no, no.
Oh, my internet went off because I've come upstairs. Look.
No, no.
Isn't
Nearly,
it lovely?
there. You're nearly there. You're not quite there. Nearly there.
Look, and there is my book.
No, you've not. You've not. It's all black, like you say. People are. Oh my god! Oh my god! Have you got a Jeremy Clarkson magazine in your toilet?
Yeah.
Do you masturbate in? Do you
I have
masturbate in your
many
toilet?
Jeremy Clarkson books. Look, excellent. Toilet books. You have to have a toilet library. It's important. Fucking hell, I can't believe I'm doing this. You never mentioned any of this. You never mentioned I'd have to prove that I had an inside shithouse. I'm going downstairs.
I agree, Paul. Very
I live in
1970s.
Derbyshire. It's one of the richest.
Like I said to you,
I live in the Peak District National Park. I live on the Chatsworth Estate. And that's not the Chatsworth Estate from Shameless. That's Chatsworth House. It's one of the richest parts of the bloody country. Dear God.
right.
And I have to prove that I have an indoor lavatory.
Oh.
I didn't used to have well, the cottage didn't used to have an indoor lavatory. This is a 700-year-old cottage. And if I show you, as we're on the move, if I show you outside...
Just one second, Jason. Just 1 second. Prove what is not a green screen. If you mean what I'm sitting, I'm sitting
that
behind.
used to be the outside lavatory, but it's been inside for a couple of centuries now.
Shush.
Hello.
Hang on, I'll kill his audio. Jason, shush. Prove what is not a green screen. I'm sitting behind a green screen. This behind me is a green screen. Jason is not behind a green screen because he's got an Apple, so he couldn't get the fucking software to work, so he's not using a green screen. So prove what is not a green screen. Right. Sorry, Jason, carry on.
Well, I mean, that's it. I live in... Derbyshire is not an uncivilized county. People who are watching this is what you need to know. Steve, bless him, he's kind of living in denial. He lives in London, which is full of kebabs and murders and things. I live in the most beautiful part of the UK where, we have inside lavatories and everything. Oh my God, I can't believe I've just had to demonstrate an indoor bloody lavatory.
You're being asked to.
We have electricity.
You're being asked to prove that your shitter isn't a green screen.
Really? Really? Where do I go with that? What do I do with that?
No, I know. You know.
Well, okay. Let's put it this way. If I was going to green screen a lavatory, then it wouldn't be a 1970s duck egg blue bathroom suite, which is what I've got. My bathroom is like 60 years old. It's almost as old as Steve. I've just plugged you back in.
That's fine. That's fine. Carry on.
Right. Let's go through the... let's have a look at the most recent comments. Blue system, white seat. Absolutely correct. It's totally 1970s.
You've been told.
Drop the phone. Good advice. Blue system. Yeah, absolutely. Sky blue, how 1970s. Totally 1970s duck egg blue. Helps you poo looking at Clarkson. And the bankrupt football team, Jason. Oh, sorry. I know nothing about football. I like sport. So football is not, is just kind of doesn't cross my radar. But I would like to thank each and every one of you for the love that you are showing from lavatory. Both I and my lavatory really appreciate it. And I can now, on Steve's live stream, that Boaty's Bog merchandise will almost certainly shortly be available at a very reasonable price from a retailer near you. Steve's gone quiet.
Right, it's all right. I'm just proving. I'm just showing you that I can do shit with my green screen. And there you go. Look, there's my shitter.
That doesn't look very technologically advanced to me.
Well, no, it's not. It's just an image that I grabbed off the internet because, unlike you, I'm not streaming on a phone. I'm streaming on a camera in a fixed position. But I can go and get a photograph of my shitter if I so require. But I'm streaming on a camera in a fixed position. But I might be able to stream with the other camera. But my camera, I'm streaming with a proper. I'm in a studio. I'm not in. I'm not using a mobile phone. So
You see, so you're not authentic. I'm authentic. If you go onto my YouTube channel, you can see footage of me live on a lavatory. Now that's real. That's keeping it real. None of this green screen nonsense. Keep it real, folks. Keep it real with Boaty. Green screen.
I need a piss. So I'll be back in a second. I'm not going to take my phone with me. So I'll be back in a second. Carry on, Jason. All yours. Carry on.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, I keep trying to talk about dinners, but nobody seems interested about that. So, what would you guys like to talk about? I'm sure we can think of something. How has your day been? I would love to know. What is your favourite colour for socks? Do you have a special pair of sex pants that you wear when you think you're going to get lucky or hope you're going to get lucky? Do you have a favourite colour? What is your absolute go-to comfort food? Um, Tacos. What's that for? The comfort food. Cool. Excellent. It's the toilet pics that's made Steve need a wee. Well, you know, let's be honest. He's a certain age, isn't he? He's not going to go. He's not going to go much further than about 25 minutes without needing to go again. Tacos are the work of the devil. Do you know? I've never had one. They're the Mexican chaps, aren't they? Where they have the same food you get in every other Mexican food, and they're in one of those U-shaped troughs that looks like a glacial geographic U-shaped trough valley feature. Never tried one. Crimson is my favourite colour. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. I'm Welsh, so red is my lucky colour. Is it clean? My lavatory, it is actually. I cleaned it yesterday with a combination of bleach, some good brush work, and I've got, well, I'll tell you what I do actually. You know the little washing up sponges that you use for your washing up?
Can I just ask you a question, Jason? Are you watching the stream output?
Am I watching who?
Are you watching the stream output on, say, YouTube?
Yeah,
You sure?
I think so, yeah.
Carry on.
I'm aware that you've put me in the middle of your toilet. I'm aware that I'm talking to you from a toilet, you great child. God's sake. Dear me. Anyway, where was I? Before Jason is in the toilet. Yes, I have been put in the toilet. I don't care. I'm unashamed. I've got a YouTube channel. You can go to it. Search for Boaty's Bogs. You will find footage of me on a lavatory. This is nothing new to me, folks. I'm cool with it. But I'd like to go back to my toilet cleaning, if I may. Now, I don't have a dishwasher. I don't believe in them. I believe that things should be washed up by hand. And I use one of those little dishwashy, spongy things with a rough edge on one side and a soft edge on the other. Now, when that is gone a bit too far to be used for optimal or effective dishwashing, then I take a new one for the dishwashing area. And do like a clean lavatory. So yes, whoever asked, is it clean? Yes, it is. Who asked that? Bubba Levinsky. Yeah, you could eat your dinner off it, mate. You could eat your dinner off my lavatory. But I don't know why you'd want to, because I've got plates. So you don't even need to bring your own. Come round, I will feed you. I'm a great cook. I've got plates. I've got lovely cutlery. Really, really nice cutlery, actually. You'll have a great time. Just let me know when you want to come. I would recommend lunch. I do a good lunch.
I'm back now, Jason. Tracy was absolutely right that I did, in fact, open up a beer. I had a piss and I opened up a beer. It's my third beer, so I could well end up talking complete bollocks by the end of this show. Although it might be said that I talk complete bollocks at the best of times. Um, there were several things that I wanted to talk about. Yes, Jason
Good.
has
Well,
got.
carry on your own. I'm just going for a quick puff.
You going for a cigarette, are you?
Just a quarter of one and
Yeah,
top wine up.
going for a cigarette. Let's just put. Um, I must admit, I'm a non-smoker. I gave up smoking on January 2019. I stopped smoking, so I don't understand why people are smoking. But Jason's just got off for a quick smoke, so that's fine. Right, let me just go through some of the questions on Reddit. Um, 1001 is used for wealthy people that chose to use composting toilets. I mean, if you're wealthy, you can choose to use whatever toilet you want. Really, I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? If that's the point of being wealthy, you can shit wherever you want. I mean, I think if I was wealthy, I'd do that. I'd start looking for places that I could take a shit at, different places. I mean, if you're wealthy enough, I mean, wouldn't it be great to take a shit in a Lamborghini? I mean, it would be really nice if you had enough money to be able to take a shit in a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to do that? To be rich enough to be able to take a shit in a Bentley. Um, you're right, Naped. He's probably a way to use the outside toilet because we know that wasn't a genuine inside toilet.
The back of the Queen Mother's favourite Rolls Royce. I'll leave you with that.
You've seen his face. How did he possibly manage to have sex? Okay, that's one of life's great mysteries. How did that face ever get laid? I just never understand that. Yeah, I know he randomly came back and left. It's I've got Jason on this stream, right, because he makes me look good. Uh, so yeah, Randy. Um, 101001101. That's probably binary for something. Let me just type that into Google. Let me just type that into Google and see what comes up with that user ID. I've got to find out what that user ID means now. So let's just see what that comes up in Google when we type that into Google. Um, see what comes up. So let's just have a look and see. For fuck's sake. I'm having a bit of a problem here. Right. Trying to copy his username. There we go. Right, let's chop that into Google. Let's see what that comes up as. Uh, it comes up as 5,274 to the power of 10. All right, that's when you convert it into decimal. Let's see what else it comes up as. No, Google doesn't really come up with much. Google doesn't really come out of it much. Actually, Neathead, I believe you're not wrong. I believe that his toilet videos on YouTube attract a certain kind of following, and this following, their thing is sexual encounters in toilets. So I believe that that's where his toilet videos are aimed at. So we could be wrong there. I might be wrong there. I could be wrong. I don't know. No, I can't. I can't. I can't work out. I can't work out what your handle is, but I'm sure it means something in decimal. So you're right. It's probably just random. So it's just random. Yeah, I thought it was random.
Can I just
No,
point out that you say you didn't move in those circles, but now you and I and a lot of the people watching this, we are non-binary.
look. I don't care what
Yeah.
the people watching think. Right? Have I asked you if I can come round and shit in your toilet? No, but
Not
you've come round. You've
recently.
asked me if you can take a shit in my toilet, haven't you?
Are you a professional toilet reviewer?
No,
No, I
I am a
am. So
professional
it's what
shitter,
I
though.
do.
If there was Olympic gold medal for shitting, I'd win it
On what
because
basis?
I can drop some of the biggest fucking logs you've ever seen.
You've spent the last 3 weeks telling everybody that
In between diarrhea, right? My turds alternate between completely runny and massive fuck off big. I can drop a log that size, right? I can drop a log. It's like a reverse iceberg, right? But 9/10 of it is out of the water.
you must have an asshole like a wizard's
Oh, I
sleeve.
do,
No wonder
I
you were
do,
so
I do, I
popular in
do, I
prison.
do, I do. Mate, when I fart, it's like, oh yeah. But yeah, I could shit for England. The medication I'm on makes me shit like crazy. But I really don't want to go round and shit in other people's toilets. I'm quite happy shitting in my own toilet. I like my toilet. It is like a reverse iceberg, Randy. They're like massive turds, right, with 1/10 underwater and 9/10 sticking out of water. And they're so big, right, that they actually discolour. Everything in the water stays a nice brown, but everything out of the water tends to go black and attract flies. If you can't flush it away straight
I'm
away,
up again.
they attract flies. Um, 2 years ago, right?
Dear me.
2 years ago, I went to a meeting with a group of friends of mine, and I at a hotel in Wigan, and I went to the toilet, and I'm sitting there, and I've dropped. If I'm honest, right, I've dropped a log. I have dropped a fuck off big turd in the toilet, and I've got up and I've flushed it. And you have no idea what despair is, right? If you want to know what despair is when you've dropped a log in somebody else's toilet and you flush it and it won't flush away. That is genuine despair. That is horror. Okay, that is a feeling of despair and horror. And you look at the toilet,
Despair.
you
This pair
look
of
at the
hands is
at the
all I've
bog,
got
and it hasn't flushed
left.
away. So what did I do? Well, I was a bit clever. And I thought about this, and I thought about this, and I thought about it, and I sat there in that toilet for a good 5 minutes. Thought, how am I going to get out of that situation? Because if I leave it there, I've got to go past reception, and they're going to know the next person that goes in that toilet is going to complain, and they're going to know it's me, and everybody's going to look at me for the rest of my stay in this hotel as the man that blocked the toilet with his big lock. So I thought, well, there's a waste bin in the corner, so what I should do is I should fish it out of the toilet and drop it in the waste bin. And then I realised that wasn't going to work too well because I had no real way of picking this turd up and getting it out of the toilet and putting it in the waste bin. Besides, what would happen when the person emptied the waste bin in the morning, right? What are they going to do? They look at it and think, oh my God, somebody's shit in the waste bin. So I'm sitting there and I've got this real dilemma. And then I noticed that it was a unisex toilet because they had the woman's Tampax receptacle there. Sorted. Because when you've got the Tampax receptacle there, you've normally got a little dispenser that dispenses these little plastic bags. And it had these little plastic bags. So it got this little plastic bag out, and I put it on my hand, and I got my hand in there, and I put it on my other hand, I got my hand in, and I actually pulled this turd apart into about 3 different things. I've flushed it away. That the whole thing took me about 10 minutes. But for that 10 minutes, right, that 10 minutes was utter panic and utter despair. If you want to know what horror is, that's what horror is. Dropping a turd in somebody else's toilet that will not flush. Yes, I know all about the poop knife. I know all about the poop knife, but thank you. Have you had your fill of nicotine, Jason?
I was just trying to escape your somewhat disturbing story.
Well, it's actually quite a true story. I mean, you've never ever dropped a log in somebody else's toilet that won't flush.
No, absolutely not. Because I suffer from strange toilet syndrome. I am not comfortable going on any other lavatory other than my own.
Yet you want to come round and take the shit in my toilet.
Really?
Really?
Again, for the record, for anybody who is new to this, whatever the hell this is, it's certainly not what I thought it was going to be when I agreed to bloody well do it.
Hang on. What did you think it was going to be?
Well, I thought it was going to be... You told me in a private chat before we started this, you told me in a very professional way and manner what you expected of me. And you expected this, and you expected that. And you made it appear as if I was going to be guesting on some... You actually told me to behave as I did when I used to do spots on BBC Radio Wales. We never talked about this on BBC Wales, mate.
I didn't say anything about...
God, I never had to take my
Can we...
mobile portable electric telephone to my lavatory then.
Can we just recap for a second? Yeah, I told you to behave like you're on BBC Wales. Did I mention my behaviour in any way?
No.
Right.
Fair point.
Exactly, fair point.
Anyway, I'm sure there must be something else that we can talk about other than your bowel movement.
It's not my bowel movement, it's just the fact that you are desperate to come and have a shit in my toilet. I mean, look, we've got loads of people watching us now. Why don't you ask them? We've got 18 people on Reddit. I'm sure that any one of these 18 people would be happy for... Look, people on Reddit, right? Would you be happy for Jason to come around and shit in your toilet?
Again, for the record, I have a YouTube channel, and one small feature on that YouTube channel is where I review public facilities for people on a road trip in their car, because my channel is a motoring channel, but there is a small feature where I do review public facilities. Steve here is very proud of his automatic toilet that he can sit on with its heated seat, and some mechanical, robotic, spectral hand comes from underneath and tickles him and squirts him with water and so on. And he took such pride in this that I wanted to indulge him, and I did say, shall I come and do a review on your lavatory? That was all.
Good evening, Mad Mark. I haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, Reddit. Well, a couple of weeks ago, we were up to 424,000 on Reddit. Unfortunately, Reddit fucked about and changed some stuff. So, literally, the days of thousands and thousands have gone and hundreds have gone. But hopefully, they'll come back when Reddit fixed it. But that's a Reddit story anyway. Good evening, Mark. Sorry, Jason. Can we just explore your review during the course of these reviews you do? Does this involve shitting on the toilets?
No.
So, in none of these reviews, you've actually taken a shit.
No.
How on earth can you review a toilet when you don't take a shit in
it? Let me put it to you like this. If you were a more civilized person and drank wine instead of beer and were an expert on wine, you might go to a wine tasting. Now, that's a similar sort of thing to a review. And during a wine tasting, you would observe...
So hang on. Let me stop you there. So you actually sip from the bowl, swirl it in your mouth and spit it out?
You would observe, you would swirl, you would take in the bouquet, and you would taste. And having tasted and having
So you taste
moved
toilets.
the what? Look, you can experience a toilet without actually shitting. It's not difficult.
So you go into a
Use your
toilet
imagination.
and you don't take a. You go into toilets and you don't shit in them.
No. What's so difficult to understand? You've got a car. I imagine that you go into your car and don't shit in it. It's possible to go into things and not
Yeah,
shit
but a
in them.
car's not designed for you to shit in unless it's a Rolls Royce
What about if it's a camper van?
or Gary Davis's camper van. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so, right, could you go into Fudge's camper van and not have a
But
shit?
I don't review camper vans on my channel. You review toilets, right? And what you're saying is you review toilets, but you don't take a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't, it's not necessary to do that in order to have the full experience. What am I missing out on? What aspect of that lavatory am I not understanding because of my felt some ordeal from my lower
What
bowel?
about the splashback? How can you review the splashback?
I wouldn't review the splashback anyway because that's a very individual thing. It would depend on your droppings. And I couldn't objectively review a lavatory because I would be reviewing its response to my own personal droppings. And other people might have different droppings. I imagine they do. I imagine people have their own individual droppings, and the toilet would no doubt respond to them on an individual basis. It,
So going into a toilet and not having a shit to me is like going into a brothel and having a wank.
right?
I just, you just, it's just, that's what toilets are there for. The primary function of a toilet is to be shitting. Um,
Um, I would say,
it's a primary function, right? It's only got two functions: to either be pissed in or shitting. All right.
okay. What about baby changing?
Do you have a baby?
Not at the moment.
Have you had a baby?
I've not personally.
Are you planning a baby?
Yes.
You are planning a baby. With
Yes.
whom?
Sorry,
With whom?
Claudia Winkleman.
Right. Okay. So we've discovered. Right. Okay. We've discovered. We've discovered now that you really are living in a world of fantasy, right? Okay. So you don't have a baby. So what about baby changing? Yeah. Yeah. So right. Okay. I'm sorry, Jason, but as far as I'm concerned, you really need to have a good shit in a toilet to be able to review it properly. If you're not taking a shit in a toilet, then the review's invalid. Um,
Bollocks! That's absolute bollocks. That is. I mean, that's not just bollocks. That's hairy bollocks. That is unmanscaped, absolute hairy bollocks. Okay, what about gay sex?
what about what?
Gay
What
sex?
about it? What do I know about gay sex?
Well, I don't know, but they
What do I know
some of
about
them
gay
go into
sex? Hey,
some of them go
what do
into
I know about
toilets.
gay
George
sex, right?
Michael did.
Nobody has ever shouted at me, roll over and bite pillow, bitch.
That's because you're too busy going into toilets and shitting in them. If you went into toilets and enjoyed the wider cultural experience that was available to you, perhaps you wouldn't have missed out in this manner.
So you're saying you actually go into toilets not to take a shit, but for gay sex?
I'm saying that some people do.
But you don't go into the toilet for gay sex?
Not me personally, no.
And you don't go into the toilet to take a shit?
I go into some toilets to take a shit, but I don't go into every toilet exclusively to take a shit. Sometimes I just need a wee. Do you never just need a wee?
Yes,
Or do
but
you
I use the
automatically...
urinals.
That's still a toilet.
I don't sit down to take a piss.
Yeah, the urinals is still part of the toilet. It's not in the bar, is it?
Right, so
It's
do
not in
you
the
shit in
restaurant.
urinals?
It's in the toilet.
Do you
That's not
do
the
you
point.
shit in
If you go
urinals?
in, if you go in and use the urinals, you are
I know,
using the
I know.
lavatory. You are using the lavatorial facilities.
I just can't work out how you brought gay sex into this. I mean, so we've established that you don't shit in toilets, and you've also brought. How did gay sex become involved in this?
I'm not absolutely certain because I've
You
not been
mentioned it.
directly involved. I have no idea why certain elements of the homosexual persuasion chose to have their doings in lavatories. I don't know. You would have to ask them. But I am aware that it happens.
Are you?
Yes?
Often.
George Michael was quite high profile.
Just to interrupt me, you've got questions on YouTube and Reddit.
Oh, have I?
Mm.
Okay. Let's have a look. Um,
This is for you, Tracy. You know me. I really don't give a fuck.
blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah,
I can't
blah.
believe that he goes and reviews. I mean, if I was reviewing toilets, right, the primary thing I would do is I would be reviewing the best ones to actually take a shit in. And you guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? Right, the perfect shit is where you just sit on the toilet, okay, and you just have the right amount of squeeze, not too much, not so much that you're like that and going bright red in the face and bursting a blood vessel, just a minor amount of oh, and it gently takes about a minute to just flop out, and it just drops out, and then it hits the bottom, right, with a really satisfying plop, uh, plop. And then you get that lovely bit of splashback where the water comes up and hits you in the arse. Only a few drops, just plop, splash. Then you know you've had a good shit. And you sit there and you go, oh, and you're relieved to have that out. Now that's how I
Well,
would review a toilet on that basis. Is the toilet
and that
conducive to me having a good shit,
and
or do I
that
want to get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible?
and that is exactly why you would never be a successful toilet reviewer, because what you have just recounted has got nothing to do with the lavatory. All you've spoken about is your own performance, your own selfish performance, nothing to do with the facilities. And that is where you are being less than professional. It's not all about that for some people. People go in for different reasons. They might just need a wee. They might need to change their baby. They might need to have some gay sex. They might need a poo, or they might just be trying to escape the attentions of an unwieldy ice cream vendor. There are so many reasons why they might be in there. And then other things become important: the ambience, the cleanliness, the distractions around you, the ease of access to the toilet roll. For the ladies, are the facilities there for dealing with their sanitary doodah, for their monthly headaches and generalities? I mean, there's so much more. You're frankly, you're wrong to just be focused on the defecation aspect. I mean, I've heard of self-deprecation, but you seem to be obsessed with self-defecation.
Well, no,
In
I'm
it,
just thinking. I'm just
right?
thinking of reviewing toilets. I mean, for instance, one thing I've noticed about toilets is the actual bit that holds the water. I don't know what it's called. The U bend, right? Some are
The
quite
bowl.
forward in the bowl, the bottom of the bowl, where the water is. Some are quite forward, and some are quite towards the back. So sometimes when you drop a turd in a toilet, right, it doesn't actually hit the water straight away. It hits the bowl first, and then slides into the water, and that leaves a great big shitty streak that you've then got to look at and hope that when you flush the toilet, it actually flushes them. But
Yeah, and that's you again. Listen, that's you being selfish again because you're only thinking about you. Think about the turd. It's on its final journey. Now, when you go swimming, and I know you go swimming, would you rather go just straight off the diving board, straight into the pool? Boring. Or would you rather go down a super slide, a super water slide, and go whee, sploosh? That's the turd having a bit of fun.
Jason, I'm 62 years old. I don't go wee anywhere.
Oh, you should. You're never too old.
I promise you, I don't. I promise you, I
I
don't.
will. I will.
I
When
promise
I
you.
hit 40, I'm still going to go wee all over the place.
Jason, you've got some questions on Reddit.
Have I?
Yep.
Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, you want to link to my toilet reviews?
That's not Reddit.
Oh, that's YouTube. What's on? Hang on. Toilet reviews. Yeah. If you go onto YouTube and search for Boaty's Bog.
That's still not Reddit.
What?
Reddit. You've got some questions on Reddit.
I don't know what Reddit is.
It's the tab mark Reddit.
Oh, it's my Easterly iPad. What's going on with Brexit? Okay, Brexit. Well, it's happened. It's an absolute disaster. And today, Sir Keir Starmer, who is the leader of the opposition, Her Majesty's opposition, has announced that should Labour gain power, then they will not take us back into the EU or into the common market. So it's been a gigantic fuck up, a massive mistake, the worst thing that the UK has done since the last really bad thing that the UK did. It's all gone to cock, but it is at least done. And yet we're still talking about it. And Steve and I used to have some memorable fallouts on Facebook back in the Brexit days because I was a Remainer and he was a Brexiteer.
Wrong.
At least.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I am a Brexit.
At least he now admits that he was entirely wrong, and I respect him for that.
I don't admit I'm wrong at all. In fact, everything that's happened since Brexit has actually proved that I was right, not wrong. All the reasons that I wanted to vote Leave for have proved me to be nothing but right. I told you why I wanted to vote Leave, and they're absolutely become true. However, I am seriously disappointed with Jason. Can you find the link to your YouTube channel, please, for Tracy? I am seriously disappointed with Brexit because Brexit wasn't what I was led to believe. I honestly thought on the day we left the EU, what was going to happen is we are going to put a giant sail up in Manchester and we were going to catch a good wind and the United Kingdom was going to sail off. And I think we were going to end. I had a nice spot picked out in the Azores. I was hoping that we would end up in the Azores, where it's nice and warm, nice warm air all year round, cracking climate. Imagine my shock and horror that the day after Brexit, when we actually left the EU, I looked out the window and there we were, still fucking 22 miles away from France. So, yeah, in that respect, I think Brexit was a big con and I was conned. I voted for us. And then, furthermore, right, I then find out that we're still having the Eurovision Song Contest. And I thought to myself, well, that's the other con, isn't it? Not only are we still attached to Europe, but we're still in the Eurovision Song Contest. So yeah, I admit I was wrong. I was conned about Brexit. It wasn't what I was led to believe it was. Oh.
But we did do well in the Eurovision, didn't we? Second.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, we came second.
I didn't watch it.
And we would have won, except that everybody voted for Ukraine.
So what you're saying is we would have won it, except somebody else won it.
We would have won, except that the
public vote.
was massively swayed towards Ukraine for very obvious reasons, and I totally support that. But interestingly, there's a strong chance that we might host the next Eurovision because, for obvious reasons, very, very sadly, Ukraine may not be deemed able to hold it, as is tradition for the winner to do.
Do you listen to yourself? You said we would have won it, yet somebody else won it.
We won the Boaty split on Eurovision into two. The professional jury we won overwhelmingly. The other half is the public vote, and obviously public sympathy lies with Ukraine, and they had the biggest victory in the public vote that has ever been recorded, and quite right too. So under normal circumstances, we would have won. But given the extraordinary circumstances that pertain, Ukraine won, and I'm very, very happy about that. Because I used to live in Ukraine, and it's a country that I love very much, and I'm incredibly distraught about what's happening to the country and to my friends.
So you didn't actually say we would have won it in case somebody else won it instead.
You can put it like that if you wish.
I did several times. I just need you to confirm that that's what you did.
I did indeed say that under different circumstances we would have won, yeah.
And seeing as you're too lazy to show people your links,
I've done it. I posted it.
There you go. There's one. There's a link for people to look at.
I did it. I posted it on the YouTube thing.
Yeah, you didn't. You just said, or search on YouTube for Boaty's Box.
Yeah, look above it.
I am. Nothing.
www.500ccc.co.uk.
Oh, yeah, you can't post links on YouTube. YouTube automatically blocks them.
Oh, really? Yeah. How did you do it then?
It doesn't block me. It's my YouTube channel.
Okay. So it wasn't my fault?
No, I never said it was.
You did. You said I couldn't be asked.
Well, you couldn't.
I could. I did. I was blocked. Outrageous. I demand a steward's inquiry. I've been hampered.
But at least we've managed to establish tonight we've managed to establish that, first of all, you review toilets that you don't take a shit in, and we would have won the Eurovision Song Contest except somebody else won it, which is different from last year. How?
And you really should all subscribe to my YouTube channel, because the stuff that I recorded this afternoon is going to be really, well, it is already really funny. I just need to spend about 3 days in the edit suite to get it broadcastable. And also, there is an amazing video with Steve that Steve very kindly helped me with that's had really, really good feedback, and it is well worth a watch. It's if you look for the Great Wiper Debate, and it's nothing to do with arses or toilets. The Great Wiper Debate, episode 4 or part 4. I can't remember what I called it. Or search for the world's fastest talker. But it's a really good video, well worth a watch. Steve calls me a fucking idiot, which is always fun.
I can't think why I did that.
Force of habit?
Yeah. Right, I think that's everything dealt with, apart from, obviously, excuse me, Jason, to take over for it. I've got to take over for a minute. I've got a problem.
Absolutely. So it's been, I think that Steve is kind of getting around to winding tonight up. while he coughs up his innards. So I would just like to say thank you so much for having me on as a guest. It's Jesus Christ, nurse. It's been an absolute. It's oh really? Okay. It's been an absolute joy and a pleasure to be with you. Thank you all for joining Steve and myself. Make sure that you're subscribed to whatever the hell it is that Steve does, and subscribe to his doings, because I'm sure that it'll get better, and eventually he'll get tired of talking about his bowel movements. And hopefully there'll be another time. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Steve, for having me. And have a safe and peaceful night, everybody. Love to you all, whether you're disabled, differently abled, differently gendered. My love to you all. Stay safe and see you next time. Well, I don't know. You sound as if you were winding it up. It's past your bedtime, isn't it?
Sorry, I needed. Thank you, Neeped. Thank you, Neeped. I needed to cough my guts up. Unlike you, I do have some standards, and I decided I didn't need to share that with the world. Although I don't mind sharing having a shit with the world, and in case you missed it, I did actually share that earlier that I did actually share having a shit with the world. No, I'm not planning to go. I'm quite fine. I'm going to go toilet now, Jason. So carry on chatting if you want. People, just out of curiosity, would you like to see Jason on my show on a regular basis? While I'm going toilet, let me ask that question. I'm just going to go toilet. So, would you like to see Jason on a regular basis?
Well, my loves, I think I speak for us all when I say we must all just hope and pray that he's not videoing himself. Dear God. Oh, dear me. Okay, well, we seem to be getting into a bit of a late night session here. It's gone midnight. It's officially 1 o'clock. So I think that we should basically have a party. When Steve gets back, I'm going to replenish my wine glass because it is low tide at Wine Bay. I'd love to know what you're drinking. Do let me know. Do let me know if you've got any midnight nibbles going on. Always good to hear about the midnight nibbles, the midnight feast. You can't beat it. So, what are you drinking? What are you eating? What are you doing? Let's have a party in the wee small hours. And oh God. Apparently you can't hear this. Apparently only I am being treated to the sound effects of what Steve is up to behind his green screen. Oh hello, he's back. Hello. We missed you. Love you lots.
Right, yeah. Apparently, Paul Cooper wants me to let you off your leash. Okay. Mad Mark wants to know when I'm streaming for the pub next. I'm probably streaming from the pub on Sunday next week.
I'm just going to get a top up.
Sorry, Neeped. Thank you very much for the coffee. It's really appreciated, and maybe see you on Friday. Mad Mark, I'm probably streaming from the pub on Sunday. I didn't stream from the pub yesterday because I've been out for the weekend, and I was drinking quite heavily on Saturday. So I'm not a pisshead. I don't drink every day. So if I had a good session on the Saturday, it means that I'm not going to have a good session on the Sunday. I'm assuming you can hear me now, Tracy. I'm assuming you can. I haven't muted anything. I've got everything running. So I assume I'm working. It says that I'm coming out. I'm losing my voice a bit, which is the bronchiectasis playing up, but that's thing right. So Paul wants to see Jason doing it next. Mad Mark wants me to stream from the pub, which will be next Sunday. I've got a stream coming in. On Friday. And I'm actually determined now. I'm actually determined to. I might take a leaf out of Boaty's book, and I might start reviewing public toilets, but I'll review them from a decent angle about whether they're actually good to take a shit in or not. Because that's what I use toilets. I use them to take a shit in. I can't believe that he actually wants to come round and review my toilet without taking a shit in it. I mean, you cannot possibly understand how good my closet is without taking a shit in it. You really can't. Unless, of course, the other thing he talked about was gay sex in toilets. Maybe he wants to have gay sex in my toilet. I don't know. I just find that his habits sometimes are a bit bizarre. There were lots of things that I wanted to talk about tonight, and I'm fucked if I've got through them. My chest is playing up, which is quite annoying. So it's good that I've got Jason there to help me. It's actually quite handy because when I have to go off and do disgusting things with my chest, I'm glad that Jason's there.
And in fine fettle, if I may say. This is the time of night when I really come into my own. I love the after midnight slot.
Paisley,
let's have a read and comment.
Ballsy P, right? Hang on a second. Ballsy P. You've actually touched on a very serious subject, and I will answer your question the same way that I'm going to answer. Tracy asked the question earlier, right? And I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to let you into a little bit of my private life. I don't normally let people into. All right. You asked about. I said about going into the toilet and taking a shit. And you said, "Well, do you go into the toilet and take a wee?" Actually, no, I don't. I don't go into the toilet and take a wee because I wear one of these. Okay. I have a catheter and I have a leg bag. So I don't actually need to go into a toilet and take a wee. In fact, I quite often take a wee without people knowing about it. And then I can actually empty my leg bag because the outlet is right by my ankle. When my leg bag gets too full, I can actually empty it quite discreetly over a drain in the street. Nobody knows what I'm doing. And that is rather handy. It is actually rather handy. So I don't have that aspect of using disabled toilets that most people do, and I tend to take a shit indoors because it's not. I'm on chemotherapy, and I'm on chemotherapy, and honestly, chemo shit is like something I wouldn't wish on anybody. It's thermonuclear grade stink. I asked my hematologist because I've got a blood cancer. I'm dealt with by a hematologist, not an oncologist. And I said to my hematologist, I said, "Why does my shit stink so much?" And once you got over the shock that I'd actually asked her that question, what? I said, "Why does my shit stink so much?" He said, "Well, the chemotherapy is actually killing the cancer cells. It's actually killing them, and they're decomposing. And they've got to leave your body somehow." And I said, "Well, does that mean I'm shitting on that?" He said, "Exactly right." He said, "That is why my shit smells like a skunk has microwaved the trap, left it outside for 3 weeks, then eaten it, and then crawled up my arse and died." And she said, "Yep, that is exactly why your shit smells like that." He really was uncomfortable having this conversation. I can't understand why. But apparently that's why my shit really does stink. So I tend not to use public toilets because when I do, everybody knows it's me, right? You can't, when you're on chemotherapy, you can't have a shit discreetly. It really doesn't.
And I would just like to point out that on my most recent Boaty's Bug review, which was at Mablethorpe Central Beach, that's a paid lavatory facility. You have to pay 8 shillings to gain access, and I didn't have 8 shillings in change. And a very kind man gave me a free upgrade to the disabled lavatory. So I did, actually review a disabled lavatory, albeit accidentally. But it's a very good point that you make, Palsy, and one I shall certainly take on board.
Did you fit in it?
And do we have to get no?
So you haven't given it a proper testing then?
I'm confident that I gave a fair representation of the lavatory. I farted.
Did you shit in it?
I did fart. No, I farted.
You farted in the lavatory?
Yeah.
You didn't say shit in it?
No.
Boaty, we've got an echo from you. That means that either I've fucked up or you've got something like YouTube or something else playing in the background. Can you make sure YouTube and Twitch and Reddit are muted on your...
They're muted. They're muted.
Paul, he's from Derbyshire. I think they all sound like that. So, there we go, Paul. It's from Derbyshire. It all sounds like that. Okay.
Originally Welsh.
So yes, but it is. You do raise a valid point, Paulsy Pete, and actually, Paulsy Pete, this is one direction that my YouTube channel. We'll talk about YouTube for a moment. This is one direction that my YouTube channel is actually heading in. That being serious for a moment, we'll forget all about shitting and toilets and everything else. Being serious for a moment, it's a very serious subject. I'm now confined. I'm now bound to a wheelchair, down to the fact that I've got a lung disease, and I've got an incurable lung disease, and I've got an incurable cancer. Now means that I'm going to be spending the rest of my life in a wheelchair. Now, my having to need a wheelchair coincided exactly with the start of the COVID pandemic. So for over 2 years, because I'm immunocompromised, I've been indoors. So I haven't really been able to experience life as a wheelchair user up until 2 months ago, when after I'd had my 5th COVID jab, I decided it might be safe for me to go out. And that's the first time that I've experienced disabled facilities as a wheelchair user, and I am actually quite sadly disappointed. And I'm coming across problems that I never thought that I would come across, and I'm intending to make YouTube videos about it. In fact, I've got over 200 hours of footage in the can that I need to edit, showing the advantages and the disadvantages of being disabled. I've actually got one done, and it's a problem that I never thought that I would have until I found myself in a wheelchair. And it's the first one of my series of problems with wheelchair users. Would you like to see it, Palsy? Just out of curiosity, would you like to see it, or anybody else? I can run it. I'm just gonna find it, and I can run it, and we can go from there. So just bear with me. Yes, you'd like to see it. Okay, just give me a couple of seconds to find it. I've got to make sure that I've got the right one. So hopefully, this is the right one. This may not be the right one, but we'll give it a try. This might be one of the rough edits, but I'll show you. Jason, did you just fart?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just farted. Right, let's have a look. Let's see if we can run this for you, Palsy. That's the wrong one, so let me just stop that. Hang on. Jason, carry on talking for a minute. I'm just going to get the right one for Palsy. If you can't talk, just fart your favourite aria. Can you manage to do that? Can you fart your favourite song?
I once almost farted the opening of the theme tune to The Archers.
Can you fart the theme tune to The Archers?
No. But
Can you fart the theme tune to EastEnders?
I've never seen EastEnders. What is it?
Is there any theme tune you can fart?
Not all of it, no.
Any of it?
Yeah, I can do the opening note.
The floor is yours. Jason is now going to fart the opening notes to The Archers.
Well, no, you've missed it. I just did it. Oh,
That was
okay.
one fart. So hang on. You can only fart one note.
Hold
Am I
on.
wrong?
Hold on. I need to breathe in some air.
Okay. Just want to confirm this. So hang on. Jason's now going to fart the theme tune to the Archers.
Okay. Okay. I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Right. Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yep.
Hang on. Hang on.
We're all ears, Jason. We're all waiting for you. You can cut the tension with a knife.
Name that tune. Name that tune.
Okay.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
No.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Does anybody recognise that tune? Right. While we're all thinking about it, Paul's your P. I have got my video and I'm ready to run it. Are you ready to? You ready to watch it? So here we go. I really enjoy a nicely trimmed bush. So trimming your bush keeps us disabled wheelchair users really happy. So trim your bush. Technically, I suppose this big green thing on my right is a shrub, not a bush, or it might be a tree. I don't know. Oh, wait.
Nice tip,
Did you think I meant something else? You really need to get your minds out of the gutter. I'm talking about this thing, this green thing, and how it gets on my tits when I have to catch a bus. Jason, stop talking over my video. It's probably a really nice bush, and the people in this house are probably really proud of it. But it causes me a lot of problems when I catch a bus from this bus stop, both getting on the bus and getting off the bus. I shall explain. The wheelchair ramp on the bus needs about a metre to deploy, so I've got to back off by a metre, which actually puts me into the bush. I can feel it jabbing me in the back. Then I have to do a U-turn because the ramp angle is so steep that if I go up forwards it will tilt my wheelchair backwards, so I have to actually turn round and reverse up the ramp, which actually puts me almost face on in the bush. This bush is a real pain in the arse, and I do wish they'd trim it, and I suspect they have no idea of the problems it causes me as a disabled person. I don't suppose anybody does, but then you come across these problems, so let's hope they trim it. There you go. Can you understand now? Can you see now the problem as why you need to have a nicely trimmed bush? I know Jason talked all over it, but I think you get the idea. Can you understand now why you need a nicely trimmed bush? And having a trimmed bush was a problem that I never ever came across until the other day. You had no idea what we're talking about, Jason, because you couldn't see it, could you?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. Do you agree that a nicely trimmed bush is very important?
I'd seen it before. I do actually watch your stuff.
Oh, Tracy, you have no idea how long that took me to edit. Oh yeah, but do you see the importance of a really nicely trimmed bush? Good night, Paul. Hopefully you've got some good news coming tomorrow. I really hope so. So good night, Paul.
Night, Paul.
But do you understand now why I insist on a nicely trimmed bush, Tracy? You know, before my wheelchair, I've used that bus for years, and it was never a problem. And it's only because that ramp comes out by a metre that I have to drive into the bush that it really causes me issues. Paulsy P, did that resonate with you? Do you understand? Can you see my? I'm assuming you're in a wheelchair as well. Can you see that particular problem? I'm thinking more of a brick through their window, Tracy. That's what I'm thinking more of. My partner, my partner has actually told me not to. I want to go. I'm. I really don't give a fuck. You know me. I actually want to go and knock on their door and tell them that, especially if the lady comes out, I want to tell her to trim her bush. I'm going to tell her bush is very disgusting and it needs to be trimmed. Um, so I need to tell the lady at the house that. I need to tell her to trim her bush. But Sharon says no because it might be misinterpreted, and she doesn't like conflict, so she doesn't want me. She doesn't want me doing that. I'm more a house brick through the window. The other option I've got is that I can actually complain to the council because it is an enforcement. It is an enforcement issue. It is an enforcement issue. So I don't know. I'm more interested in Paulsy P. Paulsy P. What was your impression of the video? And as I have a permanent wheelchair cam fitted to my camera, um, yes, Paulsy P. I'll come back to you in a second, Paulsy P. On that one. Yes, Tracy, I will certainly. When she answers the door, I will certainly film myself asking her to trim her bush. I'll certainly do that. I will certainly tell her her bush is a danger. Her bush is a public health nuisance. I will certainly make it clear to her that her bush is a public health hazard and she needs to trim it. Yes, there is the village I live in. There are three ways to leave the village, but I can only go out via one route because the other two routes don't have dropped curbs, or on one route it does have dropped curbs, but there are too acute an angle. My wheelchair will climb a 10% gradient, but these drop curbs are obviously gradient is greater than 10% because my wheelchair can't climb them. They're actually quite dangerous, and I've complained to the council about that. But that particular problem with the bush, I never realised until I went to catch a bus from that bus stop. So because I've literally got to drive into the bush to catch the bus, I'm now forced, because I filmed that a little while back, and the bush has grown a bit since then. I'm now forced to go to the next bus stop along, which was actually a real pain because it's half a mile away, and that's battery power that's taking away from my destination. When I get to my destination, that means that I've got half a mile less battery power that I can use. So I've got to be very aware of that, and it is a pain. And I'm still not 100% certain how to deal with that. But like Tracy says, I may knock on the door and I may tell the woman in the house to actually trim her bush because I have no shame and no embarrassment. I'm quite happy to do that. I don't know about you, Jason. Would you go up to a strange lady and tell her to trim her bush?
Um, no. Is the quick and easy answer to that? No, I wouldn't. No. You obviously you raise a very serious point there, and you obviously do it in an amusing way. And on a serious note, I actually think that would be quite a good way to raise awareness and to raise the problem with the person in question in a slightly amusing way that would take the social awkwardness and potential conflict away from it.
Is that a yes or a no?
It's a yes and a no. And I would like to say something on wheelchairs. You don't know the experience of being in a wheelchair until you've actually done it. And I personally think that anybody who works as a carer, and God knows carers are underpaid, overworked, and the most amazing members of our society. But I think that part of training for anybody being a carer they should have to sit in a wheelchair and be pushed because it is terrifying. And you could think that you're the best carer in the world, and if you sat in a wheelchair and were pushed by somebody else, you would probably realise that you'd not been doing it as well as you could, and you would change the way that you did things.
Can I stop you just there and tell you, back in 2018, I went out to Spain, I went out to Mallorca, to a little place called Campastilla, and it was to celebrate Paul Cooper's 50th birthday. And we got a bit pissed. In fact, we got quite pissed. We got quite pissed. And one night, I got pissed, Paul got pissed, Sean got pissed. But Paul offered to push me. I had a manual wheelchair then, not the electric one. And Paul offered to push me back to the hotel. So I was pissed. Paul was pissed and Sean was pissed, and that was an eventful night. So, yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. But seriously, I'm trying to think back to my mother used to run a nursing home, so I was always unpaid staff. So I have a lot of experience of dealing with disabilities, and I'm trying to think of the things that were particularly frightening. If you sit in a wheelchair and somebody has to take you down a curb or a small step, for example, if you take them down forwards, you will think that everything is fine. You're in control of that wheelchair. You've got a firm grip. If you're sitting in the bloody thing, you feel as if you're going to tip out, and it's really, really frightening. So never take somebody down a step in a wheelchair forward. Swivel them round slowly, carefully, and tell them what you're doing before you do it. Don't just do it, because they haven't got control. It's an awful feeling being out of control. So explain to them, there's a step coming up. I want to take you down backwards because it will be more comfortable for you. Slowly move them round to the backwards and then take them down backwards. They recline into the chair instead of being forced forward in the chair and feeling as if they're going to fall out and smash their head on the floor.
Hey, on Reddit there, dependent by 428. That's an interesting username. Is there a particular reason behind that username there, dependent by? Well, it looks like a Reddit assigned one, to be honest. I mean, one of mine is outrageous class 299. So I find Reddit assigned names to be quite strange. Ballsy P. No, this is why my partner doesn't want me to approach. I mean, we're in London, so we don't have firearms here. So it's more being stabbed would be more accurate as opposed to being shot. But it is a dangerous world. And that's why my partner doesn't want me to do it. But what choice do I have? At the moment, I have to go half a mile out of my way to catch the bus, and I'm very dependent on the buses. So what choice do I have when I need to go certain places? I mean, there's a town centre close to me that I need to go to that is not very vehicle friendly. So even with my disabled badge, I can't park close to my destination, which makes it very awkward for me in a wheelchair, which is another film that I'm going to make. So I've got to do something. What do I do? I mean, I do have a strimmer. Do I go there and do I trim her bush myself? Do I trim? Do I trim her bush without her knowing it? It's a difficult one, but I'm really not sure what to do. But the next time I have to go and catch a bus, if I end up in that fucking bush again, I'm just going to go around there and go. I'm just going to, whether my partner says do it or not, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to confront her and say, look, your bush is getting on my tits and you need to trim it. I think it's very valid to ask. The thing is, right, because it's been growing like that for years, and nobody's complained about it. They accept it as the norm, but I think I need to bring it to our attention. So I'm going to ask if it's still like it the next time.
Guys, if I can just interject, I need to love you and leave you. I started this as soon as I got home from filming this afternoon, and I need to get some food, and I need to go to Red. So, if I may, I'll say good night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Steve, for having me. It's been the most enormous fun. I'd love to do it again. And good night. Take care. Sleep tight and stay safe.
Good night, Jason. Good night. Okay, we will speak another time, Jason. I'm going to end the Skype call now, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, go for it.
I can talk tomorrow. I've got some things to do tomorrow, so I'll talk in the afternoon.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
So,
Have a good
and
night.
I'll get some feedback, and I'll find out if people want you to come on the stream again.
Okay.
All right. I'll speak to you tomorrow, Jason.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys.
Bye.
Love you. Take care.
Take my. That's now. I've got. I had an earpiece there. But without getting too technical, that was the way I'm calling Jason. So take my earphone out. Right. Okay. It's just us two now. So let's put things up as normal where you can see me. So let's put that up there. Oh, hang on. And let's make this a bit larger because this is all about me. Oh, pardon me. Make me a bit larger. There we go. Oh, larger me. There we go. Oh, there we go. You can see more of me now. I am the centre of attention. No, I'm not, because I'm not in the fucking centre. Right, that's better. I am the centre of attention now. Yep, I'm in the centre. Right, okay. Yeah. So the topic trick track. We just missed it. Actually, there was no particular topic. My co-host has just left for the evening because it's getting very late here. It's coming up for 1 o'clock in the morning. There was no co-host. I mean, we've covered everything, including TERFs and gay sex and our 10 favourite shits, and many other things. So there were lots of subjects were covered. But is there anything you'd like to talk about, Trick Track? Anything that you fancy having a subject on? Or any of you watching on? What about you, Mad Mark? I know Neatped's gone. I know Paul's gone. What about you, Mad Mark? Are you still there? Or Tracy? What would you like to talk about? I take it your bush isn't trimmed. From remarks that you said earlier. Let's talk about your bush. Let's talk about your bush for a minute, Tracy. So, is your bush trimmed? Yeah. That's what we're just talking about, ladies. Bushes that needed trimming. So, Tracy, is your bush trimmed? She's been very quiet. Been very quiet indeed. Right. Okay. We'll move on from that then. So there is no topic. Halsey P, I've not actually asked. What gender are you? What gender do you identify as, Halsey? Accuracy. I can see you've got a picture, and the picture looks male, but that doesn't mean anything. What gender do you identify as? Just out of curiosity. Male. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I have an incurable cancer. I have an incurable cancer, palsy. And I also have an incurable lung disease. And between the two of them, the medications I'm on mean that from the neck downwards, I'm completely hairless. I've lost all my body hair, so I don't have these problems. And that in itself is annoying, right? And that is annoying because I can't lose this. I still have to shave every fucking day, right? I still have to shave every day. And why can't these drugs cause me to lose this? I hate beards and I hate shaving, and why can't these drugs cause me to lose that hair there? No, these drugs torment me. They lose hair everywhere else. My friend that comes round on a Tuesday night, right? He said to me the other day, he said to me, "Are you a cross-dresser?" I went, "What?" He said, "Are you a cross-dresser?" I went, what are you talking about? He said, "Your legs, you've shaved them, don't you?" And I said, "Don't shave my legs, I'm just stupid." He said, "You do, you shave your legs so that the hair don't show through on stockings." And I said, "What?" He said, "You do, you shave your legs, don't you?" I said, "No." I said, it's the cancer treatment. It's caused me to lose hair." But no, he wouldn't have it, so he spent the whole night going on about me being a cross-dresser. You know? But that's it. What trick track on there on Reddit? What exactly was unexpected? That is your core Neanderthal. I don't quite understand what that thing is there. But yeah, if you're talking about my friend, yeah, he is a bit of a philistine in Neanderthal. He just naturally assumed because I had no hair, because I was wearing shorts, right? Because it's quite warm. He naturally assumed that no hair on my legs meant I was a cross dresser. He couldn't see any other reason for me not having hair on my legs. So, but he spent the whole night going on about it. But he thought it expects me. So it's nice to see that your bush is trimmed, Ballsy. It's like I say, now that I've shown you that video, you can see how difficult it is to negotiate a wild bush. A wild bush is very hard. It does cause an untrimmed bush causes a lot of problems. This is why you need to trim your bush, all right? Because if you let your bush grow wild, it causes unexpected problems, especially for people in wheelchairs. And I know you can't imagine just how much of a problem untrimmed bush is for somebody in a wheelchair. So you need to keep your bushes trimmed. And I believe Tracy answered me when I asked her. Let me look back. No, Rainbow Craft doesn't. No, Rainbow Craft doesn't answer. So we don't know if Tracy's bush is trimmed or not. Although I think Tracy lives in a tower block, so she may not have a trim bush. So that's one of the things we've been discussing. Neanderthal is that a trimmed bush is if you don't trim your bush, it causes all sorts of problems that you don't know about. So yeah. Yeah, Tracy, I was asking if your bush is trimmed. That's a trick track. You can't see it, but Tracy, I'm broadcasting on Facebook, Reddit, and YouTube. Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, Twitch at the same time. Your carer trims your bush, Paulsy, does she? Oh, good. I'm glad you've got somebody to trim your bush. That is important. I'm glad that you keep your bush trimmed. Tracy, I'm dying to know about your bush now. What about you, Trick Track? Is your bush trimmed? Rainbow Craft on YouTube says, well, Rainbow Craft, she's just employed a bush trimmer, and it's just killed most of the bush. But her bush is in damn fine condition. Yeah, but is it trimmed? Is it trimmed or is it running wild? That's what we need to know. Oh, for fuck's sake, Snap Camera! I'm gonna kill Snap Camera. Hang on, I'm gonna have to do some funny things here. Right, just while Tracy's answering that question about her bush. I'm just going to turn my video off for a minute because I've got to kill Snap Camera because it's really not working too well. So I've got to change that to that. Right, let's put myself back on again, and hopefully that will have everything working. Right, let's sort it out. Right. Growing wild and free like a meadow. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Just out of curiosity, have you had anybody with a wheelchair drive into your bush, Tracy? Have you considered, right, the problems having a wild and free bush is for a wheelchair user? Did my video not show you how much of a problem an untrimmed bush, exactly, ouch, how much of a problem an untrimmed bush could be? Your bush is still young, is it? Okay. I've known you for 20 years, Tracy. I know exactly how old you are. So, well, near on 20 years. Actually, it might be. Is it 20? It might be 20 years. It might actually be 20 years. How long have we known each other, Tracy? What year did you get married? What year did you get married, Tracy? Trick Track. What are your opinions on a trim bush? (2004ish). That's 18 years. 18 years we know each other. So I'm sorry, Tracy. Right? Okay. You can't exactly kid me. Your bush is young. All right. Remember, I know you. I know how old you are. Right. I know that you're nearer 50 than you are 30. So let's just dispense with that bollocks. Was it 2008? Good God. Good God, yeah, 2008. I remember that. I still remember that. I really enjoyed myself that day. That was a lovely day, and you and Andrew made a great couple. You really did. It was a good reception. I enjoyed myself. I did. Right. So we've established that your bush. Right. Okay. I'm sure your bush. I'm sure your bush is in great condition. I'm sure you check it out at least twice a day. I'm sure you pat it, and I'm sure. Do you blow dry your bush? That's fine, Portia. Shaving it off is fine. That's what I did prior to losing my hair. That's what I did. I shaved it all off because I just think it's a nuisance. I just think it gets in the way. But Tracy seems to think that shaving it all off causes bacteria to fester down there. I mean, I haven't got the heart to tell her, right, that when she's in bed at night asleep, mites on her face come out and fuck each other. Right? Yeah, there you go, Tracy. You actually have mites. You actually have animals having sex on your face while you're asleep. All right. You don't think it matters? It actually does matter, Trick Track. It really does matter. Oh, I've lost the RPAN signal. Oh, fuck. I've gone off on RPAN. Hang on. Let me just double check. Oh, I know why. I've run out of airtime. It was 3 hours long. I ran out of airtime. You can only stream on Reddit for 3 hours, and I've actually been streaming for 3 hours. My God, yeah, 3 hours. That's right. I've been streaming for 3 hours. So that's why. Right. On that note, now that we know that Tracy shaves her bush, or used to blow dry her bush, I'm going to go. So my next stream will be on Friday night, which will be with Mickey or Tracy or Greg. How'd you fancy it Friday night, Tracy? Let's just find out if Tracy um uh no, I didn't get any pictures at your wedding, Tracy. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I don't think I did. I can't go into details, but a lot of pictures from around that time in my life mysteriously well, they didn't mysteriously disappear. I don't know exactly what happened to them, but no, I haven't got any. I'm sorry. So Tracy, do you do? You can't do it Friday. Okay, so Friday I might have Greg and I might have Mickey. I might have both in one. I don't know yet, but I'll have two. I'll have at least one special guest on Friday, and Boaty will be back next Monday. If he's up for it. So on that note, I will say goodbye to you all because I've been at it for 3 hours and it's time for me to go to bed. So watch Friday on catch up by all means. Right. So on that note, like I said, I'm gonna say goodbye to people. Because it really is time for me to go to bed, and I'm actually knackered now. So I will say goodbye to you all. So goodbye, everybody.